time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Does anybody wear galoshes anymore? Because
The good time to invest in some.
I guess, what are galoshes? I think just boots, or
A rubbery boot.
A rubbery boot. You'll need them this morning.
Yeah, look at Smitty's got some sort of boot there for the rain. I want to know.
That's I wouldn't call that a galosh.
No. That's something you strap. It's like a secondary item that you would strap onto the boot, right?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Make me Google this too.
I don't think they're that. I don't think a galosh is.
Oh,
that,
no, it's
those
something
are
that goes
rubbers.
over your boot.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a secondary thing. It's like a.
We would call them rubbers.
Yeah. Get on your rubbers.
Yeah. Of course, the 80s ruined that. And we went back to galosh. Man, hydroplaning, it'd be a good time to make sure your air conditioning is working, Andrew. Be a good time to make sure your sump pumps are working this morning.
Well, I just got a call from one of my sisters. Unfortunately, the sump pump's working, but the pipe that takes the water from the pit to the outside of the house is cracked. So
it's really,
Not good.
it has been raining hard. If you don't know it, it's been raining hard all night long. So be aware of that. And I guess it's going to continue into today, and then a chance where it cools off. Davey, stay there because I want to talk to you just a little bit about the Buffalo Bills and Syracuse. Syracuse had a big win over the weekend. That team is looking good. Judah Mintz is looking really, really good.
It mostly was the bench.
It was the bench.
They were down early. The bench scored 44 points. It was Benny Williams came off the bench. Adrian Autry said that he didn't get a lot of playing time. He was impressed with him, so he brought him off the bench. They look good.
They look really good. They look like they will compete this year. I hated the announcers in that game, but
was one of them Boeheim?
No, it was some Paul guy and Steve Lapis, the former Villanova coach.
Anyway, they look good. And then the Buffalo Bills. I really thought this was going to be a close game, like a game similar to the Bills Kansas City last year, or the year before, whatever year that was. Nothing going there. I mean, they just stomped all over the Dallas Cowboys.
Really impressed with the Bills the last 2 weeks. I'm excited to be a fan. I mean, I've been a fan all year long. But
Well, I mean, this is
a lot of fans. A lot of fans weren't giving them the credit they deserve. I think one Rondinelli was
even Richards a few weeks back said, just keep your eye on the Bills. They may very well be getting hot at the perfect time of the year. And, they still have to make the playoffs. They should have no problem making the playoffs if they win out, but they still have 3 pretty big games coming up here.
Chargers.
Miami is going to be the game. That's going to be what a game that could end up being at the end of the season.
Chargers Saturday night, New England and Buffalo, and then travel to Miami.
Yeah.
And we're rooting for the Cowboys this coming weekend because the
Go
Dolphins
Cowboys.
play the Cowboys.
Yep.
yeah. That's the interesting thing about this season is you're rooting for some teams you wouldn't ordinarily root for.
It is. And, Andrew, I'm sorry about your Packers.
If something good can come from it, the firing of the defensive coordinator, which should have come a long time ago, will happen today. At least I saw one report said that that's likely to happen. Offense played great, but, you just let a quarterback like Baker Mayfield go off and not have one stop. you're at 3rd and 18, 3rd and 21, and you allow first downs. What are you going to do?
This morning we'll speak with Luke Perry from Utica University and catch up on everything going on in D.C. I heard more over the weekend. People are starting to come to the realization that maybe it is going to be Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
And there are many. I understand some Trump supporters who just love the fact that he will be the candidate. And it looks like he will be the candidate. It does look that way anyway. But there are many that wish that there was somebody new. Same thing when it comes on the other side with Joe Biden. Many just wish there was someone new. But it looks like we're going to be going into 2024 at least with these two being the candidates. We'll get an update on Israel-Hamas with Jonathan Savage coming up in a few minutes. I mentioned Luke. We'll speak with him on all of that. Just the all of the impeachment, impending impeachment investigation. I mean, there's just so much going on.
Redistricting. He might have some insight into that.
There's so much going on. Was it Friday night or Saturday? When did Cortland? It was Friday night. Cortland had
big game, big
win.
game.
Won the national championship in Division III college football.
And Kurt Fitzpatrick, who is the head coach, has ties to Utica. He was on Blaise Fagiano's staff, I believe, at one point.
We'll speak with him coming up this morning in the 8 o'clock hour as well. And if you're getting ready for travel time, we're in that mode right now where people are getting ready to. Dave, you can bring him in. I'll introduce him. People getting ready for their travel for the holidays. That's already underway. Do you know that there is a pilot shortage out there?
I did hear that. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we ought to just skip this job and go become a pilot. It's like a 2-year program, I think.
I did go into a plane with my uncle at one point when he was a flight instructor, and I said, "Wow, this would be pretty fun." But then I thought about the fact that all the people that would have a near heart attack if I was behind the controls of a plane.
Yeah. The problem would be for you if you're ever flying during like a Packers game, the plane would be flying all over the place. It would be terrible.
I'd have to turn it off.
Let's see. I have to say that I'm getting phone calls now, and I'd like to know if I'm the only one. I know I'm not. I know there are other people getting this. I'm getting phone calls from the Observer-Dispatch saying I'm late on my bill.
Oh, I was actually happened to be a spectator of the call.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was a Friday afternoon. It was
We're in the middle of our Christmas
and
party.
I'm getting a call from the OD saying you have to pay. And I said, I'm not going to pay. I've canceled it. It's been canceled. And she said, no, you didn't cancel. Yeah, I did cancel. She said, well, you didn't call to cancel. I did call to cancel. She said, I see it right here. You made a payment arrangement with somebody back in October. Yeah, because it's the same thing. I had canceled before that, and the guy said, well, you owe $14. So I said, I don't owe $14. He said, yes, you do. I said, I canceled. He said, no, you didn't. And finally, I'm like, all right, I'll pay the $14, but I want to cancel right now. Oh, I'll walk you through it. And then he gave me a number to call, and I called the number. And I said, I was told to call this number and tell you that I have canceled. This would confirm my cancellation. And they looked up my information. They said, yeah, you're canceled. You didn't have to call this number. All right? That was in October. Now I continue to get the paper, and I continue to tell them, stop sending me the paper. And they continue to bill me, and now they're threatening. I don't know. I'm going to steal. I'm going to repossess your mailbox or something. I don't know what they're going to take from me.
I think this is all the makings of a class action lawsuit. Because think about it, there's sketchy going on, because we spoke to another coworker of ours who had a similar
the same
issue
situation.
That this has been canceled. No, you're not. Yes, you are.
I do think it's a scam. Maybe we should turn them into the Better Business Bureau and the
AG's office.
And the AG's office, which would say, what's going on there in Utica? First the superintendent of schools, and now I got to deal with the Observer-Dispatch. But it's all it's nuts. Anybody else having the issue where you've canceled and they won't cancel?
Yeah. Call
Let
us
us
up.
know.
315-736-0186.
OD customer service is like their news. Late. It is. The other part of their customer service is it's off overseas somewhere. So I don't even know where you're calling when you speak to somebody.
Is there a way, so do you still have access to the online subscription even though you're canceled?
I have not had access to the online. Even when part of the reason why I canceled, well, is because there's no news anymore. But part of it was I could never stay logged in.
Yeah.
It would not accept my password. So I just got so annoyed with it. So I now have a subscription to the the Sentinel. So and to a couple of others that I have no problem with. But the OD's app I've had a problem with. I don't get it.
See, I'm wondering if there's some mechanism to check if you're canceled in that. But if you can't get in, that's another sign you're canceled.
I couldn't get in before, so it doesn't even matter. Mike says, I wonder if the OD is using the same Indian call centers that are used for scammers. Yeah, like it may very well be. I'm sure it is. That's probably the same thing. Anyway, we'll deal with more of it coming up. Remember, it is pouring out there and has been all night long, so expect some slower traffic this morning, as there's just a lot of standing water on the roads. A lot of hydroplaning this morning, so be aware of that. Andrew will update the news coming up in a second. Of course, Friday morning, it's our Christmas extravaganza. We go from 6 a.m. until 12 noon this Friday, and it's brought to you by the Stanley Theater and by It's a Utica Thing Restaurant and Bar, which is now open for lunch and your catering needs, even as late as right now. If you needed help with Christmas dinner or you're having an event that you want catered, call them up and they will assist. They deliver, and of course, it's the most delicious Italian food you're going to find for your event. That's Friday morning, 6 a.m. till 12 noon, our Christmas extravaganza, right here at 6 a.m. till 12 noon. It's 6:32 right now at WIBX.
Spoiled supermarket meat, sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend. A freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to one additional text. Text stop to opt out. Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When Freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
518-554-0000. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203. Online at CordellCordell.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I want to start with the weather forecast, and you're dealing with some heavy rains, and Andrew will have the full forecast coming up. Heavy rains continuing through the morning. There is a flood warning in effect, or a flood watch, however you want to look at it.
It's an advisory, technically. There's two different ones here, according to the Weather Service.
Otsego County has a flash flood warning right now, which means beware because of all of the rain. There's runoff. That could mean some dangerous flooding that could occur, so be aware of that. What we are looking at is an advisory.
Yeah, so a flood advisory for a portion of central New York, including Shenango, Cortland, Delaware, Madison, Oneida, and Onondaga, Otsego counties until 8:15 a.m. Also, the National Weather Service saying that there's a flood watch in effect until midnight on the 19th, so midnight tonight, and that's for a lot of central New York, including several counties like Madison, northern Oneida, Schuyler, southern Oneida, and other counties.
Okay, just be aware, and the roads have a lot of standing water, so as you're going along, you think all is good, and then you run into 2 or 3 inches of water, and it's a bit unsafe, so be careful out there. This morning, hard to believe that we're dealing with this, and it's basically Christmas week, and we're dealing with rain problems. Imagine if this was snow.
There'd be a lot of it.
It would be a lot. Andrew with an update right now, 6:37 at WIBX.
Good morning. This update brought to you by the leader in service, Clinton Tractor on Meadow Street in Clinton. Visit clintontractor.net. We're at 47 degrees. With heavy rain here in Marcy. Your full weather forecast is coming up. As we said, we do have that flood watch in effect until midnight tonight for several counties, including southern and northern Oneida County, Otsego County, Madison County as well. Your full weather forecast is coming up. The man accused of shooting a pregnant woman in the head in Syracuse is expected to be back in court this week. David Kirby was arraigned over the weekend on charges including attempted murder and is set to face a judge on Thursday for a preliminary hearing. The 34-year-old allegedly shot the 26-year-old victim Friday while in the area of Dickinson Street. As of the last update, the woman and her unborn child are not expected to survive. Kirby is being held in the Onondaga County Justice Center. Central New York drivers are seeing falling prices still when it comes time to fuel up their vehicles. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is $3.44. That's down 7 cents in the past week and is also 20 cents lower than this time a month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.42 a gallon, while nationally it sits at $3.07. The State Division of Consumer Protection is calling for what it says is a dangerous toy to be removed from store shelves. The agency says the Speed Striker remote control car toy is often sold at Five Below locations. The car has more than double the allowable surface and paint coating lead level than the guideline established by the Federal Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act. People who have purchased this product are urged to get rid of it immediately. And the Syracuse University football team has its quarterback for next season thanks to a commitment from a former Ohio State star. Kyle McCord has signed on to help the Orange after throwing for more than 3,100 yards and tossing 24 touchdowns for the Buckeyes this season. His arrival is significant for new head coach Fran Brown, who promised when he took over to focus on recruiting. McCord will have 1 season of eligibility for SU, and Fran Brown has been busy since taking the helm. He's also recruited 2 star wide receivers from other teams via the transfer portal. WIBX 950 news time is 6:39. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News chief meteorologist Craig Flint. Heavy rain continues today. We do have a flood advisory in effect until 8:15, a flood watch until midnight. Rain will be heavy at times today with a high in the upper 40s. Rain showers could turn to snow overnight, lows in the low 30s. Snow showers mixing with rain possible tomorrow, highs in the mid 30s. Right now, 47 with heavy rain at 6:40.
Okay, we'll take a quick break and come back. I want to talk about that Mahomes and that whole meltdown that occurred. Did you see there was a fine levied finally?
Oh, for him, good.
For
good.
yeah, like what? If anybody else had done that, they would have fined them before they got off the field.
Yeah.
But it took a week to happen for Mahomes. We'll talk about it coming up. 6:40. Hold on. It's Monday morning at WIBX.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
Mohawk Valley FCU is giving you even more reasons to become a member and save money with their early fuel loan program. If you use alternative heating such as propane, heating fuel, pellets, or wood, you can receive up to $2,000 subject to credit approval for 12 months. Stock up now for the upcoming heating season and save with Mohawk Valley FCU. Just one of the many benefits Mohawk Valley FCU has to offer. Visit mohawkvalleyfcu.org for more info. Mohawk Valley FCU, member focused, member driven, federally insured by NCUSIF.
Dash into JCPenney for last-minute holiday savings. Finish your list with a little extra sparkle. Jewelry is up to 70% off after coupon. Looking for something cozy? Candles, velvet plush throws, and more start at only $7.99. Score thousands of doorbusters on popular brands like Adidas, Champion, Disney, and Carter's. Enjoy fast and free same-day pickup until 3 p.m. Christmas Eve. Ready in less than 2 hours. JCPenney. Make your holidays count. Offers valid on select styles through 12/24. Exclusions apply. Doorbusters excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their knowledgeable staff. And it doesn't end there. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, when you purchase 4 qualified General Tires with your General Tires credit card, you'll get up to a $100 rebate. Visit their stores in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or schedule your appointment online at TallmanTires.com. Get the tires your vehicle deserves at the best prices guaranteed with Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair.
The church gives us a peace the world cannot give. Letting go of bitterness and resentment can help us find inner peace. The sacrament of reconciliation and the grace the sacrament provides may help us to forgive ourselves, forgive others, and enjoy a peace we may not have known for years. What a gift! On December 18th, Catholic churches throughout the diocese will be open for the sacrament of reconciliation. The light is on for you. Come home for Christmas and celebrate the joy of the Eucharist.
Each store is independently owned and operated, not part of a chain or cooperative buying group. At Seneca Wine and Liquor in New Hartford and Valley Wine and Liquor in Herkimer, naughty or nice, you'll love our price. All wine cases are 20% off. Mix and match. Save bigger on these great names. Tito's 750 milliliters vodka, just $17.99. Josh Cabernet or Chardonnay, just $11.99. $9.99 after rebate. Cupcake Prosecco is now $8.99 and only $6.99 after rebate. Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc is on sale for only $13.99 and just $10.99 after rebate. And we love New York wines with Hazlitt Red or White Cat 1.5 liters, now just $11.87. Only $8.87 after huge rebate. Need a gift? Our gift cards never expire. Come find out why we were voted #1 7 years in a row at Seneca Wine and Liquor in New Hartford and Valley Wine and Liquor in Herkimer.
We're one big family, 2 great stores, ready to save you more.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, riding down Santa Claus Lane. Blitzen, blitzen, all here's a reindeer pulling on a rein. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Yeah, so Andrew's back.
Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus.
So,
you gave me the green light, Bill.
So
that's all I needed.
That means Elvis' Christmas album will be. You know, and then Andrew sings along with every song. That's just so you know. Terrible, Davey. Terrible.
No, I love Elvis.
I know you do.
That was great.
You know that every year since I was a kid, we would have toast, hot chocolate and Elvis, the Elvis Christmas album, when we put up our Christmas tree. And we carried that tradition on for my kids to the point where it always has to be playing. Even my daughter today is like, how come Elvis isn't playing?
Whether you love it or not.
Let me go grab it. I forgot all about it. I can't believe it.
Yeah, whether you love it or not, it becomes a tradition.
Christmas songs people hate. This apparently was a story on CNN because there's nothing else going on in the world. The most hated Christmas songs. The Christmas Shoes. It's a new song.
Oh, my God.
Are you familiar with it?
Oh, it's not the one, I'm going to buy these shoes.
It's a kid's mom is dying, and he wants to get her some new shoes before she high-fives
that's not a new
Jesus.
song.
I don't know. It says new song.
It's been around a while.
How does the stranger the kid is hitting up for cash know mom is terminally ill? The kid could just be pulling a scam. Plus, do you really think Jesus is going to be giving a high five? Right? Come on up here. Let me give you a high five. Careful of the hand.
God.
Sorry.
That's not a new song.
Another one that is listed as one of the hated Christmas songs, and I disagree, is Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. I love that song.
Oh, which that's hold on.
The party da 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 da.
Having
a wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. If you're a Beatles fan, you probably like that song. It's Paul McCartney. I do like it. Here it is. Yeah, it's very 80s like.
Yeah. It makes you feel good.
I think this was like 1988, 89, somewhere in there. It fits. I like it. I do like the song. It has a beat and you can dance to it.
Yeah, come on.
Whatever.
Bunch of Scrooges out there and Grinches.
Here's a little piece of, well, I guess not. You're going to stop it. Anyway, I like the song. Some people say it sounds like it's being played on a Casio keyboard. Again, that was the 80s thing.
Okay.
And I don't think it sounds like that.
I don't like those keyboards.
I don't think it sounds like that anyway. The other one is one of the hated songs is Do They Know It's Christmas by Bob Geldof. Done in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
One of the worst Christmas songs in history. He is known for We Are the World, if you remember. Bob Geldof.
Wasn't that a Band-Aid song? Or what?
It was a Do They Know It's Christmas is a Band-Aid song.
Yeah.
Don't play it, please. Here are some that you know everybody hates. Baby, It's Cold Outside. I don't know why I love that song. Santa Baby. The Chipmunk song. I don't know why. I like that song, too.
It's very nostalgic.
And Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Yeah, everybody hates that song. I like the version with Taylor Swift, much better.
Me too.
Then there's a list of songs that are coming up that people don't like as well. All I Want for Christmas Is You. That one I'm sick of.
Oh, with
enough
Mariah
of that
Carey?
song. That's all you hear.
Come on.
And then Wham's Last Christmas is one that they say
like
people
that
are sick of. Davey loves it. Yeah. Whatever. It is what it is. I mentioned that finally Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were fined $150,000 because of their tirade on the referees during the Bills game 2 weeks ago.
Especially because it was the right call.
In the NFL, calling out the perceived performance of the referees can cost you. Just ask Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. The league has reportedly fined them a combined $150,000 for their verbal tirades against the officiating crew during last week's game against the Bills. Reid took the biggest hit at $100,000, Mahomes $50,000, and I think that's ridiculous because it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Andy Reid goes off, and you don't even pay attention. His mouth keeps moving. You can't tell with his mustache.
Yeah.
I think he's yelling about oatmeal or something.
If you have diabetes.
Or diabetes. Anyway, they were both fined, and of course they had a big win yesterday. Aaron Rodgers, this is a big mistake. Do you agree? If Aaron Rodgers were to come back.
Oh, 100%.
Tommy DeVito was running for his life during the game yesterday. So there's no coverage. There's no protection whatsoever.
Zach Wilson?
You're right. Sorry.
Well, Tommy DeVito was.
Tommy DeVito was also running for his
Cutlets.
life. But yes, sorry. For the Jets. And is he out now?
Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's under concussion protocol.
So he'll be out for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah, at least next week.
It would be. Don't you think it would be a huge mistake for Aaron Rodgers to come back?
Sitting at 5-9 with all the teams vying for wild cards,
and
in
they're
the
out
AFC
of
at 8-6,
but they're out of playoff contention now.
Yeah, it would be stupid.
As of the loss yesterday.
I know he's probably itching to get back in, but you should really, and I know he's probably wanting to have the fastest recovery from Achilles injury surgery ever, but it's really not worth it.
That is impressive, but if they were in it, it would be worth it. Otherwise, I understand. Well, I want to be able to go in and just show what I could do to this team. I think it would be a big
Selfishly,
mistake.
it would help us.
One injury, and he would be done.
Yeah, the setback is.
I don't know how he would come back from that. Mike asked, does Donna's Fa La La song count for most hated? Oh, I forgot about that from Friday. We'll play a little piece of that coming up. All right. On the bad news going into the holidays is the continued pictures and videos coming out of the Gaza, the Israel-Hamas war. People are very opinionated on this. Of course, it's what if you were watching any of the Sunday programs, it's what you were watching all weekend long. But the photos of innocent civilians, it's tough to watch, but it is what it is. Jonathan Savage with an update on what's going on there. There does seem to be some talks of possibly getting more of the hostages out. Jonathan, good morning.
Yeah, there is some, I think there was perhaps some hope over the weekend that there might be talks in this regard, but it's not coming to anything just yet. As we know, Qatar, the United States, Egypt were all involved the first time round when they managed to get a 7-day truce that led to more than 100 hostages being released. But over the weekend, fierce and intense fighting continuing. More than 100 people killed on airstrikes on residential buildings in northern Gaza on Sunday, we're told by the Gaza Health Ministry. Israel says it only attacks what it calls terrorist targets. But I think probably one of the most shocking developments from the weekend was Israel's own soldiers killing 3 hostages who were trying to escape from Hamas. They were running from the building waving a white flag, screaming out in Hebrew, but they were misidentified by the Israeli soldiers.
Wow. Just it doesn't seem like there is any end to the fighting right now. The problem is, at this point, if Israel walks away and Hamas still exists, this will only just continue. The problem, though, is, and I think we discussed this a bit last week, is that with all of the innocent people being killed, it is creating it's creating more enemies for the future. This is just it's an endless cycle. This is going to go on for quite some time.
Yes, I was hearing an interview this morning with the former UK Defence Secretary Ben Wallace. He was Defence Secretary until the summer, so he's very fresh out of the job. He says that Israel's tactics in Gaza will fuel the conflict for another 50 years and risks radicalising Muslim youth across the globe. The British Prime Minister this morning saying too many innocent civilians have died. That's echoing, of course, what we've heard in recent weeks from the White House and from the State Department. Right now, the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is in Israel to meet senior Israeli government officials. It's thought he's going to urge the Israelis to wind down their major combat operations, trying to get them to switch to a more focused and targeted operation aimed at killing the leaders of Hamas, destroying the group's tunnels and rescuing those remaining hostages.
Jonathan Savage, we appreciate the update. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Jonathan Savage from Fox News Radio. It does seem like this is a complete catch-22 where there's you have no choice but to try to wipe Hamas off the face of the planet. On the other hand, they're placing people, their bases under schools, under hospitals, etc., and innocent people are continuously, especially children, continuously being killed in this, which is only going to create more conflict for years and years to come. It's like a no-win situation. I almost feel like the best, I realize it's hindsight, but the best situation would have been to attack hard and quick, and then deal with it on the ground in a more strategic way where you're pinpointing the enemy and walk away, because the longer this goes on, the more you lose the people who supported Israel from the very beginning around the world, and that's a problem.
Yeah, the tough part is Hamas, again, not...
So if your phone is going off right now, it's because the National... And let me tell you something. For people who worked a late shift last night, they're waking up to this. National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning in effect for this area. It says, do not attempt to travel unless you're fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. A flash flood warning is now in effect for this area.
So I want to pull up that camera, the Coit River camera by Whitesboro. I know that they always have that on, see where that's at, because I know that's one of the areas prone to flooding. Wow, it's looking pretty much right at the bottom of that bridge right now, if this is still live.
So if this heavy rain continues through the day today, and remember, a lot of that feeds that creek, a lot of that is runoff, so that will continue to possibly rise as the day goes on, even after the rain subsides. But if the rain continues, just, again, I would be in a situation where you double-check if you are prone to flooding in your basement or whatever in your home. I would make sure your sump pump is up and working this morning. Anyway, moving on. Coming up next hour, Hobica's Free Money Question of the Day. We'll speak with Luke Perry. There's a blast from the past. Luke Perry from Utica University. Also, Amazon is going to be allowing customers to buy cars, but I guess it's the good news. The good news is you'll be buying from local dealers.
Yeah, it's just another way for them to
take a cut, by the way, make a little money. It's got to be a new revenue stream. We'll speak with Art Flores, who knows all about that, coming up next hour as well. And in studio this morning, we have a student who's shadowing this morning. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Yes, I am Justin Kuzborski. I am a Syracuse University student, graduate or majoring in TV, radio, and film. So I made the ride over from Syracuse this morning.
How was the ride this morning coming on the thruway?
It was treacherous, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, because it's pouring rain all night long. So
hydroplaning, some people were already off the road.
Yeah.
Luckily, I made it here before I got that warning. So had to get a coffee on the way as well.
That's the important part.
A Celsius perhaps as well. But I made it here just fine, but it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon.
So what do you want to I've got 2 minutes. What do you want to do after you're done with college? So you're at Newhouse.
Yes, I'm at Newhouse. The goal is to be on radio like I'm doing right now, to be on air. I love music. I love entertainment. I love pop culture from time to time. It's
well, you're going to hate this program.
Hey.
Hey. Boring.
More experience is all that matters.
That's right. You learn from the bad. I've always said, learn from the worst.
Learn what not to do.
And then you'll know what not to do. So
Yeah, pop culture is something else. I don't really always like talk about who's dating who, but it's what people my age...
Where are you on the Kelsey Swift thing, then?
I don't care.
Yeah,
it's all over my Instagram. It's all over my ESPN.
And it was all over the game yesterday.
Yeah.
All
Good
over.
thing I didn't watch.
Davey, were you watching any of it? It was Taylor Swift every other shot.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Every time Mahomes gets the ball, the next shot is up in the luxury suite. So you would like to do you'd be like to be a disc jockey or a DJ on a station or
be
whatever.
on air. Just want to be in radio.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the dream, and we're working on that right now.
Well, it's a wonderful business. It's just a wonderful business. It certainly has changed a lot, and you'll see some of that, I guess, this morning. All right, so we'll do Habica's Free Money Question next hour. $200, Davey, on the line. $200, and we'll do that about 7:35. Also, as I said, Luke Perry from Utica University, and there's so much to talk about, and we'll have a full update on news and that weather forecast coming up. Again, there is a flash flood warning just in effect here for our area right now.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
He wasn't targeted. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but President Biden was startled
as he left campaign headquarters last night in Wilmington, Delaware.
Mr. President, why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
Well, he shouted back they're the wrong polls. And then it was hard to hear, but there was a sound of a crash when a car hit a Secret Service SUV. The president was ushered into his vehicle and nobody was hurt.
The president's motorcade departed without incident. On-scene reporting details how the sedan involved in the crash initially tried to leave the scene before being swarmed by Secret Service agents. Local police are looking into whether impairment was an issue.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The president was asked about the polls after a new Fox News voter survey has him 4 points back in a potential Trump-Biden rematch. The poll also gives the former president 69% in the Republican race, 57 points ahead of Ron DeSantis. Nikki Haley is 60 back. At a Trump rally in Reno, Nevada last night, the former president said if elected again, he'd order mass deportations.
Given the unprecedented millions of Biden illegal aliens who are invading our country.
The day after facing criticism for saying that record illegal immigration is poisoning our blood. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is in Israel for talks, are expected to urge them to scale back the war in Gaza amid international ceasefire demands with nearly 19,000 Palestinians killed. Southwest Airlines has landed a $140 million settlement with the U.S. government over last year's Flightmare, as it was called, around Christmas when a winter storm snowballed into a scheduling snafu for Southwest, canceling 17,000 flights, stranding passengers. A heavy wind and rainstorm is snarling pre-Christmas travel this morning. Florida on up the East Coast.
We're talking about rain in some cases in South Carolina, getting up over a foot of total precipitation. This is major type of flooding. Add on to that some of these winds, 50 to 70 miles an hour.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klaus, more than 300 flights canceled. America's listening to Fox News.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ, C-H-O-Q. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, C-H-O-Q, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 7:03. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now it's 47 degrees, heavy rain, some drizzle as well. And if you were by your phone and heard it go off, the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning in effect for our area until 10 a.m. This is a, quote, dangerous and life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or are under an evacuation order. We'll have a full update coming up.
What I am confused about that is you have schools going off to classes this morning.
Right.
Are they saying people shouldn't be driving on the roads? People going off to work? You're not going to stop that from happening.
Let's
I guess
maybe
if you're
try and get one of the superintendents on. I'll work on that.
It would be maybe Sheriff Machel. See if you can grab the sheriff, Davey. I'd like to get what their recommendation is here. Andrew, but that flash flood warning is now in effect.
It is, and there is a continuing flood watch in effect until this evening around midnight for much of central New York. The man accused of shooting a pregnant woman in the head in Syracuse is expected to be back in court this week. David Kirby was arraigned over the weekend on charges including attempted murder and is set to face a judge on Thursday for a preliminary hearing. The 34-year-old allegedly shot the 26-year-old victim Friday while in the area of Dickinson Street. As of the last update, the woman and her unborn child are not expected to survive. Kirby is being held in the Onondaga County Justice Center, and other charges are pending. Central New York drivers are still seeing falling prices when it comes to fueling up their vehicles. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is $3.44, down 7 cents in the past week, and is 20 cents lower than this time a month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.42 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.07. The State Division of Consumer Protection is calling for what it says is a dangerous toy to be removed from store shelves. The agency says the Speed Striker remote-controlled car toy is often sold at Five Below locations. The car has more than double the allowable surface and paint coating lead levels than the guideline established by the Federal Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act. Boy, that's a mouthful. People have purchased this product are urged to get rid of it immediately. And the Syracuse University football team has its quarterback for next season thanks to a commitment from a former Ohio State star. Kyle McCord, who visited over the weekend, has signed on to help the Orange after throwing for more than 3,100 yards and tossing 24 touchdowns for the Buckeyes this season. His arrival is significant for new head coach Fran Brown, who promised when he took over the job to focus on recruiting, and he's doing a heck of a job so far. McCord will have 1 season of eligibility for SU. WIBX 950 news time, 7:06. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. Brought to you by Cliffs Local Market. They keep you going. Flood warning in effect right now for this area, that being Marcy, Whitesboro area. Heavy rain continues throughout the day. A flood watch will stay in effect until midnight for much of central New York. Today, heavy rain with highs in the upper 40s, rain turning to possibly snow overnight, lows in the low 30s, and snow mixing with rain tomorrow. Highs will be in the mid-30s. Right now, 47 with heavy rain at 7:06.
All right, is this camera that we're looking at right now, is this a live camera?
This is a live stream of the Whitesboro Sequoia Creek. This is over down
I am now looking at a police officer who's just pulled up, is now at the bridge. It is just making it. You're looking at it as well?
Yes, you can see the lights.
The water is just making it. There's a police car there with flashing lights, and it looked like a police officer was just taking a look at the water, and it is up to the bridge.
Now, one of the scary parts about this corridor,
to the point where the concrete below the bridge, there is no space
gap.
in between.
Right.
There's no gap there.
And pretty soon we'll have it up on our website. You can have a link to see that and follow that video that you can see it yourself. But it is scary. And one of the big problems with the Sequoia Creek in that area has been in the past the CSX bridge for the train. When that gets dammed up and clogged from debris, that's when the flooding can really, really take hold and get nasty.
Yeah, the one thing you don't have to worry about is the ice jams, which we do in the springtime. However, this is, so if this creek is having the problem, you will have other hot spots in the area where runoff is an issue. So just be aware. Traffic is, just so you know, traffic is still able to go across the bridge there in Whitesboro. And I am looking at the police officer who has checked it.
Or it may be, that might be either police officer or volunteer firefighter.
I'm not sure what it is, but he is, we're literally looking at the camera live, which is incredible. Again, traffic is allowed across that bridge. You don't have to avoid the area. However, it is at a very critical area at this point right now, and it looks like the police officer or volunteer, whatever, fire person taking off. So just keep an eye on that camera. We'll have it up on our website coming up in a few minutes. What a night. What a weekend in sports.
It was a crazy one. Lamar Jackson threw for 171 yards and a touchdown as the Ravens beat the Jaguars 23-7 on Sunday Night Football in Jacksonville. You heard it right here on WIBX. The Giants' winning streak is over after falling 24-6 to the Saints in New Orleans. Tommy DeVito started the game for the G-Men, completing 20 of 34 passes. He also led the team with rushing of 36 yards on 4 carries. But the real loser in that game was his agent. I mean, he's wearing a lime green suit, which is Eagles colors on the sideline.
He has
a bit of a joke.
I got to tell you, he is running with this
he's
DeVito
milking
thing.
it.
Yeah.
He's milking it. The Giants now fall to 5-9. They'll visit the Eagles in Week 16. The Jets also dropping 6 of their last 7 games. One of them yesterday. They were shut out by the Dolphins 30-0 at Hard Rock Stadium. Zach Wilson started the game under center before leaving with an injury. He's under concussion protocol. Rumors that Rodgers may come back next
he'll
year.
be medically cleared next week, right?
But he should probably not start the rest of the season.
I would think that would be a mistake.
Who am I to say? Local boy taking over the play calling duties at defense for the Eagles. They're making a coaching change. ESPN reports Matt Patricia of VVS High School will handle defensive play calling duties ahead of tonight's road game against the Seattle Seahawks. Sean Desai will remain the defensive coordinator, but will move to the coach's booth while Patricia transitions to the sideline. Several schools took home hardware as bowl season kicked off over the weekend. The Ohio Bobcats began Saturday by stomping Georgia Southern. I know you really don't care about that. Syracuse football will be playing in their bowl game. The Roof Max or Roof Solution, roofclaims.com
Thursday
Boca
night?
Raton Bowl will be the 21st.
It's the Boca Raton Bowl, 8 o'clock football, 5 o'clock basketball.
And, so it's a big week for Syracuse as they got a huge win yesterday. 83-63 was the final score, beating Oregon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They're Orange are 8-3 and will host Niagara Thursday night.
And Cortland winning the national championship on Friday in Division III college football, knocking off the number one team in the country and the number one quarterback in the country.
So do you guys know who the coach of Niagara is that Syracuse is going to be facing on Thursday?
I do not know. Who is that?
He's a former Syracuse basketball star, in Syracuse at CBA.
Who is it?
Greg Paulus.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's
who
pretty
used
cool.
to be with Duke, too, right?
Yes.
Yep. All right, good stuff. Anything else, Andrew?
That's it.
Got a break. We'll come right back. 7-11 at WIBX. It is Monday morning.
Looking for the perfect gift for the theater and music lover on your list? Give the gift of world-class opera and musical theater with a Glimmerglass Festival gift card. The 2024 Glimmerglass Festival includes productions of The Pirates of Penzance, Pagliacci, La Callisto, and Elizabeth Cree. And with a Glimmerglass Festival gift card, they can pick the shows of their choice. Gift cards available online at glimmerglass.org or by calling the box office. Tickets for individual shows on sale January 22nd. Give music and magic with a Glimmerglass gift card. Happy holidays from the Glimmerglass Festival.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
This holiday season, make your spirits bright with Steed Ponte Chevrolet. Cruise through snow-covered roads in style and comfort with these incredible deals. Find new roads in the 2024 Equinox LS all-wheel drive Midnight Edition. Lease for just $379 a month. Looking for power and capability? The 2024 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab LT four-wheel drive can be yours for only $499 a month. Hurry, these offers won't last. Stock numbers 24117 for the Equinox LS and 24182 for the Silverado LT. Taxes, fees, and first payment due on delivery. Must have current lease and household and qualify for top-tier credit with GM Financial. Let Steed Ponte Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership, help you celebrate the season. Visit us before December 31st, 2023. Make this holiday one to remember and see why it's always easy to do business at Steed Ponte Chevrolet. Route 28 in Herkimer or online at SteedPonteChevy.com. Happy holidays and happy driving from your friends at Steed Ponte Chevrolet.
Each store is independently owned and operated, not part of a chain or cooperative buying group. At Seneca Wine and Liquor in New Hartford and Valley Wine and Liquor in Herkimer, naughty or nice, you'll love our price. All wine cases are 20% off. Mix and match. Save bigger on these great names. Tito's 750 milliliters vodka, just $17.99. Josh Cabernet or Chardonnay, just $11.99. $9.99 after rebate. Cupcake Prosecco is now $8.99 and only $6.99 after rebate. Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc is on sale for only $13.99 and just $10.99 after rebate. And we love New York wines with Hazlitt Red or White Cat 1.5 liters, now just $11.87. Only $8.87 after huge rebate. Need a gift? Our gift cards never expire. Come find out why we were voted #1 7 years in a row at Seneca Wine and Liquor in New Hartford and Valley Wine and Liquor in Herkimer.
We're one big family, two great stores, ready to save you more.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their knowledgeable staff. And it doesn't end there. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, when you purchase 4 qualified General Tires with your General Tires credit card, you'll get up to a $100 rebate. Visit their stores in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or schedule your appointment online at TallmanTires.com. Get the tires your vehicle deserves at the best prices guaranteed with Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair.
The holidays are the happiest time of the year. That is, unless you or your loved ones are miserable because of colds, sinus infections, or allergies. This holiday season, give the gift of better breathing with Navage. What makes Navage so effective? Well, unlike cold and allergy drugs that might take a long time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage provides fast relief from sinus congestion in 30 seconds flat. Navage doesn't just relieve symptoms, it attacks the cause by sucking out the germs, allergens, and viruses trapped in your nose that are making you feel miserable. Best of all, Navage does it naturally, without drugs. Wash away your cold and congestion problems this holiday season. Add Navage to your gift list so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $40 on the HSA 45 battery-powered hedge trimmer. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to StihlUSA.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Now $99.99 was $139.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Hi, it's Benny. And Lenny. As helping elves, we have a lot to do this time of year. But I never panic.
Of course not.
No matter what the big guy throws at us, we got this. Right, Lenny?
Whatever.
We just go to Kinney Drugs. Kinney's got tons of stocking stuffers, fragrance and beauty sets.
Ooh la la.
Toys kids love, and my favorite, candy.
Ugh.
So beat the lines. Get it in a Kinney Minute, and happy holidays from Benny.
And Lenny.
The Helping Elves.
As a leader in green building projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and is now a clean heat approved contractor for residential electric heat pumps. Save up to 40% off your natural gas or oil heating system monthly bill by upgrading to an electric heat pump. Now's a great time to replace that old furnace and boiler with New York State incentives and tax advantages. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey electric heat pump with various packages and options available. Potentia can also help design, supply, and install residential and commercial electric vehicle charging systems at your home or business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, they guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or potentiamanagement.com. That's potentiamanagement.com.
Hey, Jen. OMG, look how busy it is in here. How'd you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker for us. For a long time, we had decent business coming in from word of mouth, but we weren't growing. Lately, though, a lot of new folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific. I wish I could figure out how to do that for my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you'd think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are for businesses like yours.
Okay, then what?
If you see that there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
There's only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
First news with Keeler morning on WIBX.
You know what you're doing over there?
I don't know.
All right, good morning. It's 7:19. Dealing with some flooding out there, so be careful on the roads. The entire East Coast has been hit with this storm, and the rain is still coming down. On the line right now, Art Flores is an automotive industry expert. And Art, good morning. Thanks for coming on this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me this morning.
So what do we know about Amazon selling automobiles, as if they don't have enough to sell?
Yeah.
I know, right? I was a little surprised when I saw that announcement. I don't feel like we know a whole lot. We know that Hyundai and Amazon have teamed up, and Hyundai is going to set it up to where Amazon can let customers order a new Hyundai online, receive delivery from a local dealership, or go pick up at the local dealership. And in exchange, Amazon is going to be allowed to put Alexa in the vehicle starting like 2025.
Oh, okay.
Amazon Web Services is also going to be something that Hyundai will utilize now. I'm not sure exactly how, but that's kind of the deal that we know of right now.
Well, it's interesting because you're seeing like Ford is going to be walking away from Apple's CarPlay and also the Android CarPlay or whatever that's called. I wonder if that's where they're going.
You never know. I'm sure there's plenty of deals getting worked in the back, but Alexa seems to be, I guess, a little more universal. For some reason in the cell phone industry or the technology industry, those tend to try to keep themselves separate when they're similar.
Interesting. Now, on this car, does this help or hurt on this car deal with Amazon? Does this help or hurt local dealerships?
We will see. It's really hard to understand because it can affect, obviously, the sales guys for sure.
Yeah.
They're kind of being replaced. Will the dealership continue to make profits? Will they have to pay fees to Amazon? What benefits will the customers get? Are they just going to, walk in and say, here's my paperwork, give me my car? Are they going to get a less personal experience? It's hard to tell right now. I'd like to learn a little more specifics about the logistics of this deal.
Yeah. And then, there are people today. I wonder if we're creating a buyer who doesn't want the personal experience. There's so much of that today.
They don't want to talk to a salesperson. They're isolated.
Yep. I mean, it's interesting because I was just we purchased a Christmas gift at Walmart, and I had to pick it up. Well, there's construction at our Walmart here, the one in New Hartford, so I couldn't see where the pickup spot was. But once I finally found it, there is regular traffic now going through there, whether you're picking up your groceries or you're picking up items. It is busy on the pickup, and that means the only human contact you have is when that person, you open your trunk, you really don't even have to talk to the person.
Yeah, and they give you the receipt, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't have this. Sorry."
Right, that's right.
But you could walk right back into the store and find it. That's the funny part.
That is right. Oftentimes, your shopper is not all that good when it comes to finding exactly what it is that what you want. But really, it's that experience that is going to be handed over to the car industry, and you can only assume that if this works well with Hyundai, that other manufacturers are going to jump onto this.
Yeah, we'll have to see the trend and see if more units are sold, if the profits are increased, or customer satisfaction goes up. It really depends on a bunch of metrics.
Yeah.
Whether it continues.
All right, interesting. Okay, Art Flores, thank you for the insight. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You do. You do the same. Happy holidays. Did you get the feeling that I kind of knew just about as much as Art Flores did on this whole thing?
You should do the radio tour going forward.
Maybe I'll do it if you'd like.
No, but it is an interesting concept.
Nope, we're going to have to see.
That doesn't really allow for any, sometimes when you go to the dealership, you want to still be able to haggle a little bit, with pricing. If you're just going to go on to Amazon, I want this car for that price, and that's all there is to it.
I got a message the other day from Uber that you can rent a car now through Uber.
Oh, really?
You can rent a car through Uber.
Is it somebody else's vehicle, or is it through they own a fleet of vehicles?
I didn't get into it, dig into it, but maybe they've teamed up with a car rental service or something. I don't know. But you can actually now go on your app on your phone. You can not only get a car, someone will come and drive you, but you could actually rent a vehicle through Uber. Interesting stuff. All right, coming up, Luke Perry. If Luke says, when I ask him questions, well, we're just going to have to see. I really don't know at this point. He won't say that.
We'll be in trouble.
He won't say that. But I do wonder when you and I was giving a lot of thought. I wonder what we will, big moments throughout history, and when you look back through history, history judges, right? We're able to look back 100%. On things years later and say, boy, what a mistake that was, or who was on the right side of something. Today, we're smack dab in the middle of, we're so divided. You have one side, almost 50% of the country, saying, I'm on the right side, I'm right. And you have the other side, almost the other half, saying, no, you're wrong, I'm right.
Yeah.
And I wonder what history will say about all of this when years and years go by.
What a bunch of morons.
They probably will, right? I don't think we're going to look all that positive.
No.
Like, there were battles going on during the civil rights movement, right? You had people on one side and on the other. But some 55 years later, we look at that and say, it was the right thing to do, right?
Exactly.
There were some states up until the late 1960s where it was illegal for a black person to marry a white person. I think through history, as time has gone on, we can all look at that and say, well, maybe there are some out there that still think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I think we can all look back and say it certainly should not be illegal. And through so many other things that have happened through history, time allows us to look back on it. All the facts come out, and maybe that was because there wasn't enough communication back 100 years ago. I mean, it's not like you had newspapers, you had books. You didn't have the quick information that we have today. I think we've probably reached a sweet point, a sweet spot where there was the perfect amount of information out there. But now I think we've gotten past that, and we're at the point where there's too much. So for every story that you read that says this conclusion has been formed, you have another story that forms a completely opposite conclusion. So I almost feel like we're in a very, as great as it is to have all this technology and all the ability to communicate, I feel like we might be at a point where I don't know how history is going to be able to sort all this out.
No.
But that is one of the questions that I'll throw at Luke Perry. I'm not sure he'll have the answer to that one. Coming up, we'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. Andrew has an update on the news and, of course, keeping an eye on the weather.
And we'll talk to Sheriff Rob Mayshall as well.
We're going to talk to the sheriff. We're telling you right now that at that bridge in Whitesboro, the Oriskany Creek, it is right up to the very bottom of the bridge. It looks like there are authorities over there and some flashing lights as people are able to still cross the bridge. I'm not saying it's closed. It's not. But it's pretty darn close to being blocked. I would, and you can see they're keeping a very, very close eye on it. We'll speak with the sheriff on the weather conditions, the road conditions, and this flash flood warning that has been issued for our area coming up in a few minutes. 7:29 at WIBX.
Your spirits bright with Steed Ponte Chevrolet. Cruise through snow-covered roads in style and comfort with these incredible deals. Find new roads in the 2024 Equinox LS all-wheel drive Midnight Edition. Lease for just $379 a month. Looking for power and capability? The 2024 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab LT four-wheel drive can be yours for only $499 a month. Hurry, these offers won't last. Stock numbers 24117 for the Equinox LS and 24182 for the Silverado LT. fee, taxes, fees, and first payment due on delivery. Must have current lease in household and qualify for top-tier credit with GM Financial. Let Steve Ponte Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership, help you celebrate the season. Visit us before December 31st, 2023. Make this holiday one to remember and see why it's always easy to do business at Steve Ponte Chevrolet. Route 28 in Herkimer or online at StevePonteChevy.com. Happy holidays and happy driving from your friends at Steve Ponte Chevrolet.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When Freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
All right, before Andrew does his update on news here this morning, want to get an update from Sheriff Rob Machel, who's on the line right now. Sheriff, good morning. Good Monday morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good. Well, here we go with, again, so unique to be having a flooding issue just a week before Christmas, but here we are.
Yeah, we are currently under a flash flood warning from the National Weather Service. It's affecting, in general, it appears as though it's affecting like the southeastern portion of Oneida County. That includes Utica, New Hartford, Westmoreland, Whitesboro, New York Mills, Kirkland. The areas, obviously the Whitesboro area is affected by the Sequoia Creek, which obviously is the one of concern at the moment. Actually, the Whitesboro Fire Department on their Facebook page, about just a few minutes ago, they're reporting that the creek has crested and some of the side streets are flooded. So I don't know the situation there or the extent of it, but we want to remind folks to please use caution and, avoid these areas if at all possible. Right now, I believe all roads are still open, but from what I'm getting in the reports that some of the roads are beginning to flood in that area. The other area of concern is Kirkland, which is the Oriskany Creek. In that area, Route 5 in Kirkland tends to be a problem, whenever we have these significant rainfall. So it's very concerning and, like you said, very unusual for this time of the year.
So obviously, we've all heard the warnings on if you see water in the road or you see standing water or flooded areas to not drive through it. Exactly.
I mean, the slogan that's used by the National Weather Service all around is "Turn around, don't drown" when encountering flooded roads, because it only takes anywhere between 6 and 12 inches that actually can move a vehicle. I mean, people think cars are heavy and they can drive through it, but that's always always not the case, especially with moving water. And obviously water moves a great force, and you'd be surprised, less than a foot of water can carry a car away. So we want people to be aware of that and, avoid those areas. And certainly we want to, keep the residents in mind that live in these flooded areas, because this is certainly not the time of year that they want to have to deal with flooding issues in their homes. And hopefully that doesn't happen.
Good time to make sure your sump pump's working and you have a backup sump pump, or good idea to make sure that is up and working. I have to say, Andrew, are you looking at the camera, the Whitesboro camera right now?
Yes, I'm looking at it.
This is this would be the Sequoia Creek,
Correct.
the Whitesboro Bridge. Sheriff, about a half an hour ago, and again, I'm just going to speak as I'm seeing it, to the right, you could see that the water was right up to the concrete base of the bridge. But to the left, it looked like there was about
some space,
about an inch, maybe a couple of inches of space. That is now gone. It looks like the water has risen over the course of the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got to imagine the Sequoia Creek originates in the town of Paris, so you've got an incredible amount of area between Paris before it reaches Whitesboro. Obviously, flowing that way to eventually just on the other side of the CSX railway bridge is where it connects to the Mohawk River. That area, because of the amount of force that water's coming from, way up in the town of Paris, a lot of debris gets carried down. Obviously, the sediment builds up under the bridges over time, just natural creek flow.
Yeah.
And just the force. And like I said, all it takes is one large tree branch to jam itself under that bridge, and now the water is going to come over the top. So people got to really be concerned. Obviously, the group over there, the elected officials, they're part of the Sequoia Creek Intermunicipal Commission Basin. They monitor that creek all the time. They've done an incredible amount of work in that creek, but still, because it's such a large area that it covers, and you got to imagine, from Paris as it makes its way down to New Hartford, there's not a lot of area for the water to soak in, because it's all obviously a commercial area. So, it's just it's an incredible amount of water that's being dumped into that area in a short period of time.
So some of the areas that are prone to flooding that people should at least keep an eye out for, of course, would be in that section over by Daylight Donuts of New Hartford, where the creek comes through. Over in Westmoreland on Route 5 there, it seems to flood over there on a regular basis.
Sequoia.
Exactly. Town of Kirkland, Route 5, that's a state highway. So, typically, and again, I haven't received any reports. I did hear something a little while ago that the water was approaching the roadway, but DOT would be the ones with the authority to shut that down. And then obviously Whitesboro, that bridge you're seeing there in that camera, that's basically the Whitesboro-Yorkville Village line. So those officials watch that. But the other side, over on the boulevard side, you've got Route 69 or Oriskany Boulevard. That's the state highway. So we monitor that stuff all the time. And as soon as DOT says that it's going to shut down, then obviously traffic may be rerouted. But we got to keep in mind the significant number of homeowners in that area, and they're the ones who are going to, hopefully it doesn't get to that point, and I certainly pray it doesn't for this time of year. It's the last thing people want, just a few days ahead of Christmas, is to deal with flooded cellars.
One thing is for sure, having that camera on that creek has got to be incredibly helpful.
It is, and prior to the cameras, typically what all the bridges did is they actually had measurements, permanently marked on the sides of the bridges. So just a few years ago, you'd pull up and officials, whether it be first responders or elected officials, they would check the depth, watching the measurements on the side of the road. They use that through the year to obviously measure the amount of sediment that's building up, so they know when things got to be cleaned out. But technology has helped a lot. It enables people to get warnings out sooner. And the force of Mother Nature is something that you certainly don't want to mess with. So you have to take precautions, and we want people to keep that in mind. We don't want anyone to get hurt. It's bad enough you're going to have to deal with the damage from flooding, but certainly saving lives is the most important thing.
Sheriff, maybe we'll check in a little later in the 8 o'clock hour. We appreciate the update. Thank you.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Sheriff Rob Machel, with an update. Just beware, a lot of the roads you're dealing with standing water on the roads, which can create hydroplaning, and just be aware of that on your way in. It's it can be hazardous, so just be careful as you're driving in. All right, let's do Hobica's free money question of the day. Davey, we're looking for caller number which one this morning?
Caller 6.
Sixth caller right now, your chance at $200. Caller number 6 right now, 315-736-0186. Then we'll speak with Professor Luke Perry from Utica University on the state of our political state, our political affairs. What we're dealing with right now seems to have, crested, I guess, very similar to what we're dealing with when it comes to the Oriskany Creek and the Sequoia Creek. We'll get to all that coming up. But caller number 6 right now at WIBX.
Keeler, I know you're in there.
Tim, what are you doing?
Your wife says you're procrastinating and overdue for your cancer screening.
I am doing it, I promise you.
You'd think after you had cancer the first time you'd be smarter than this.
I'm actually prepping for my colonoscopy right now as we speak, and I have to go.
You're not getting rid of me that easily.
I really have to go. Badly.
This holiday, make the pledge to get tested for cancer. Early detection could save your life.
We need more toilet paper.
Real men get tested for cancer.
The church gives us a peace the world cannot give. Letting go of bitterness and resentment can help us find inner peace. The sacrament of reconciliation and the grace the sacrament provides may help us to forgive ourselves, forgive others, and enjoy a peace we may not have known for years. What a gift! On December 18th, Catholic churches throughout the diocese will be open for the sacrament of reconciliation. The light is on for you. Come home for Christmas and celebrate the joy of the Eucharist.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a STIHL. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the STIHL Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $30 on the BG56 CE handheld blower. Visit your local STIHL dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real STIHL. Find yours. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Oneida County Office of Continuing Care has immediate openings for program nurses, starting at over $55,000. Nurses work a 35-hour week conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. Join our team and make a difference. Apply today at OneidaCountyJobs.com. That's OneidaCountyJobs.com.
Only at Mattress Express. Any Sealy or Stearns & Foster King or Queen set, get a 58-inch flat screen TV or $200 in free gifts. No one in New York has all the brands under one roof that Mattress Express has. Go to MattressExpressNY.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. This holiday season, make your home shine with elegance from Adirondack Home Furniture. Wrap yourself in comfort and create warm holiday memories with family and friends on one of their beautiful sofas or sectionals handcrafted for togetherness. When it's time to eat, Adirondack Home Furniture's dining collection will be the centerpiece of your holiday feast. Celebrate a peaceful escape this year when you gift yourself an Adirondack Home Furniture bedroom transformation from the ordinary to a sanctuary of serenity and relaxation. Handcrafted perfection. Experience the magic of the season with Adirondack Home Furniture. Visit them today and let them help you create a home that's a reflection of your impeccable taste at Adirondack Home Furniture. Horatio Street in Utica at the former Riverside Mall. Browse their inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Happy holidays from Adirondack Home Furniture, where quality is not expensive, it's priceless.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
It's all cold down along the beach. And the wind's whipping down the boardwalk. Hey, man! You guys know what time of year it is?
You got to find a way to get these songs into the hook. Otherwise, I got to play the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, that's the point.
It's the point? You want me to play the whole thing? I don't have time for that.
You guys all been good in practice.
Well, a classic, one of the great classic holiday songs, Springsteen, of course. All right, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobica. For your legal needs, call 314-574-1600. This is for $200. Court is on the line right now. Hello, Court. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
What was your last win? You recently, it was a while ago, but how much did you win the last time?
Well, I haven't received the money yet, but it was October 16th. Yeah, I won $200.
Yeah, you'll have that in your mailbox today. You won $200. So here you go again for a chance at $200. This
Alrighty, hopefully lightning strikes twice here.
This increased level of money given away is increasing Habaika's stress level. I love it. All right, here we go with your question. You have 7 seconds to answer. Andrew, you ready?
I'm ready.
This NFL coach, before coaching professionally, used to maintain nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers. Who's the coach? Ready? Go.
I was going to guess. I have no idea. Bill Belichick.
It is
very close. He was on Belichick's staff for several years.
Turns out he's a local boy.
That's right.
Matt Patricia, right after college, believe it or not, used to maintain nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers. Pretty wild. And of course, now has just been moved up on the coaching staff. At least visually, visibly.
As a nuclear option for the Philadelphia Eagles who are struggling.
Eagles, yeah. All right, Court, let's see. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card from Aquavino Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and the concession stands over at the Adirondack Bank Center and Nexus. Stand by. Davey's going to get your information. We'll mail it right out to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Bill.
All right, Court, thank you. Stand by. And by the way, you could get one of those gift cards. $20, you get $5 free. It's the holiday special right now, and you can pick them up at any of the participating restaurants, and of course through Mohawk Valley Garden with the Utica Comets. On the line right now, Professor Luke Perry. Professor, good morning.
Good morning.
So some inclement weather out there for people to keep an eye on this morning. It's just been raining and raining and raining. It has been coming down. Okay, if we could, let's just talk about everything that's going on as we close out 2023. Doesn't it make you just wonder, packaging all this together for next year, that 2024 is going to be an unbelievable political year?
I think so. I mean, we've just experienced an incredibly contested period in national government. The House has got a narrow margin. The Senate's evenly split. The presidency's gone back and forth in recent elections, and it looks like, as you know, there might be a rematch from last time. So I think this has led to hyper-partisanship, increased social divisions, and a lot of challenges for our society and our system of government. So there's a lot of action, but a lot of it also is unorthodox and quite difficult to stomach, to be honest with you.
Quite difficult to stomach. Yeah. It's, I was thinking about this, and we were just talking a few minutes ago, how history looks back on things. As time goes on, we get a clearer visual, a much clearer visual of what was going on, what was happening. And while we may be, divided at that time in history, wait 50, 60 years and clarity comes along, and you can, it's much easier to be able to say, this was right, this was wrong, this was a mistake, this was correct. How, in 60 years, 50, 60 years, how will we look back on this time? And with the increased media and you had artificial intelligence, and some of the videos that came out last week, there was a video and photo, one of each, I believe, of former President Trump and President Biden, both either doing something or making a statement that really wasn't said, but it looked absolutely real. So with all of this, in 50, 60 years, what will we look back on?
I think we're going to look back at this period, I don't know when it's going to end, but starting maybe 8 to 10 years ago and going into the near future, at least, as one of great division. Americans are as divided now as they were before the Civil War, as divided as they were in the 1960s. So I think once a century or so, you have these periods of great turbulence and division. So I think that'll be one characteristic. I think we've seen an extraordinary amount of impeachment process over the last few years, which is a historical anomaly. It's been kind of normalized. in recent memory here, but we haven't had a lot of impeachments, and that's kind of dominated our political system. So I would think at some point we will revert back to the norm, and this won't continue. So people look back and say, "What? You had 2 impeachments, maybe 3, depending on how things shake out. What was that all about? Why did that happen?" And finally, to your point about mass communication, I do think we are in a pivot point here into a whole nother realm of communication, similar to the advent of the radio or the advent of the television. Obviously, digital communication's been around for some time, but as you pointed out, I think we have this newer element, I should say, of misinformation and how that can just permeate millions of people in a split second. And so I think that's going to be very different moving ahead. And when we look back, we're going to say, oh, this is kind of the beginning of that.
And, we're not the only nation, although I do think we lead the way to be dealing with this with this division, where and a lot of it does seem to have something to do with in America, white people in America were the majority, but that is beginning to change as you're seeing different cultures and different people. Certainly Hispanics and African Americans gain a percentage when it comes to the percentage of population in America. And I wonder, and this is happening in Europe as well. You hear things like Paris doesn't look like Paris anymore, or President Trump over the weekend saying that these people coming into our country are poisoning the blood of America. Is this part of what's causing all of this? Are we looking all of a sudden and seeing the majority, what America used to look like, doesn't look the same? And that could also include gay rights, gay marriage. There's a lot there. Is this part of what is precipitating all of this?
One of the considerations to make big social developments is hard to create causal arguments. But I certainly think there's been advancement in equality, and that has been helpful for some to absorb. Obviously, America has a long history of multiculturalism, but as you mentioned, around the world where political power controlled by white people has been fading, we've seen a correlation with farther right political ideologies, more nationalistic parties, more fascist parties gaining some traction, particularly white males who like their place in society has been dissipating and have a racial conception of nationalism and to certain degrees white dominance. So I do think that's a piece of it. I also think you look at Donald Trump and his personal style of conservative politics. He had some success, obviously, in terms of being elected in 2016. And most Americans underappreciate how impactful what happens here is around the rest of the world. The rest of the world is watching our political system, watching what's happened here, and to some degree, as they deem effective, copying it. And so I think Trump's rise has also had an impact when we think about this type of more nationalistic politics as well.
Let's go to the rest of the world. All of this is going on in America while we're watching the war in Ukraine and obviously the war in Israel and Gaza, Israel and Hamas. So that seems to be a very interesting situation because the longer it goes on, the more horrific the pictures that are sent around the world. Clearly, Hamas is trying to put Israel in a position where they are they're going to be killing civilians, and it seems that no matter which way Israel goes, there is no positive ending to all of this. It doesn't seem like. So obviously they want to eradicate Hamas from the face of the planet, but at the same time you're creating a new generation of people who hate Jews. How do we get out of this?
Well, from a political science perspective, it's kind of cliche, but I think it's true that there needs to be a political settlement, right? The conflict, particularly violent conflict in that area, has been around, obviously, for some time. In the current iteration, as you referenced, one side is not going to completely annihilate the other side because these legacies live on in future generations. So I think both in the short term and the long term, when you have territory that's highly contested for various reasons and is very sensitive on both sides, the only path forward is complete domination, which is not likely, or some type of political settlement. And that's very difficult because neither side wants to concede anything, and they're pursuing different strategies, and obviously force is one key element to that strategy. But I think at some point that's gonna have to be necessary for the war there to conclude.
So with all of this happening, we're now looking at an impeachment, and at least an impeachment inquiry. It has been normalized, hasn't it?
Yes, this is one of the most unusual things. That you were talking about a time perspective when we were visiting earlier, and when I go back, I don't know, 10, 15 years and think what I would anticipate now, I would not anticipate us being in a third impeachment inquiry in a relatively small amount of time. And so I think it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. Part of it, I think, obviously, is Donald Trump is a major player within Republican Party politics and wants some form of retribution in regards to the perceived wrongdoing of President Biden. And obviously, I think he thinks that will help him electorally, too, as this campaign takes shape.
And I wanted to ask you about redistricting here in New York State. The courts have decided that our congressional lines are going to be redrawn all over again. And again, at the last minute, we're going to be dealing with it while an election is going to be underway. Your thoughts on that and how it will affect this area?
Well, from my perspective in political science, following the Constitution is really important. And our state Constitution, as it was amended in 2014, dictated a process for how districts are supposed to be redrawn. As you and most of your audience well know, that hasn't gone well in New York State for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
So I do think it makes sense for the commission to have another opportunity to fulfill its task, which it failed to do last time. As your question alluded to, I am skeptical that they will successfully do that. So I think there's a short amount of time before the election begins, but there's a long way to go before we have districts out of the commission. They're approved by the legislature, signed by the governor, and I do think we're going to have further litigation whenever it happens.
It is so. At the end of the day, there's going to be people who are on one side and those on the other. Some are going to be okay with it. Others will not. I do feel that this area, Utica, Rome, and the Mohawk Valley could be victims in this. If you go back sometime, Rome wasn't even a part of the 22nd Congressional District. That was split. When this is being done, I'm not sure they're going to be considering the metro area that we live in here. I mean, we may be tagged again or connected again to Syracuse. We might be connected back to Binghamton. We could become a victim in this.
It's very hard to understand where things will go from here. So I think you're pretty right that there's a whole lot of uncertainty. And in addition to the Constitution requiring the commission, there is also a prohibition against gerrymandering where the new districts can help or hurt incumbents. And I think this is a great example of how that idea on the surface, I think, makes sense to a lot of people. Gerrymandering is not good. But legally, how you create new districts in any shape or form that don't invariably help or hurt incumbents just seems impossible to me. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out practically.
And then finally, somewhat philosophical question, as the ball will drop on December 31st and we'll head into 2024. Do you enter the new year with optimism, or how do you enter the new year?
No, I don't.
No optimism.
Though I'm laughing, so I'm still happy. But, you know, if you're an analyst of government, as you know, Bill, you need a certain amount of skepticism. And over the years, you get jaded about certain things.
Yeah.
And, no, I follow electoral politics very closely. It's going to be another slugfest of a presidential campaign. And just on a personal level, you know, I think government is about solving problems and trying to make people's lives better. And I wish there was greater focus on ethics and integrity and respectful disagreement and people just working together more to try to make everything just a little bit better as we move along here. And it's just the hyper-partisanship and the personal attacks, as someone who loves American government and what I do, it's hard for me. So I look forward to hopefully turning the page in another chapter. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I don't know when it will, but hopefully sooner rather than later.
Luke, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Happy holidays, and we'll talk again. Thank you.
Same to you. My pleasure.
Luke Perry with Utica University.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Imagine if this was a snowstorm a week before Christmas. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The system pouring down now from Florida up to the Northeast.
In the nation's capital, in so many areas up and down the eastern seaboard, is incredible rainfall amounts.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Washington says they got a foot of rain in South Carolina, causing some flooding. Other flooding in other areas could happen, too.
These heavy winds, too, almost like a tropical storm in some areas, all the way from South Florida up the Georgia coast into the Carolinas.
Nearly 400 flights canceled. FlightAware reports more than 500 delays, but that's nothing like last year's Christmas flight, Mayor.
Southwest Airlines reaches a $140 million settlement related to the 2022 Christmas-time flight cancellations that stranded nearly 2 million passengers at airports across the country due to winter storms affecting their hubs in Chicago and Denver, and their booking software couldn't handle the rescheduling tasks.
Fox's Eben Brown. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is in Israel. He's expected to urge them to scale back the war in Gaza amid international calls for a ceasefire to protect Palestinian civilians after more weekend airstrikes.
The Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry reports dozens of Gazans were killed. Local media reported that crews were still searching under the rubble for survivors. Israeli forces also striking a number of sites where Hamas fighters were located, including a cell in the city of Khan Yunis and a sniper position in a separate compound.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Drama in Delaware for President Biden last night. Somebody drove a car into a Secret Service SUV.
The Secret Service was on hand as the president was dining with campaign staff. They quickly swarmed the sedan that crashed, hands on their guns, and the driver appeared to comply with at least some of the commands.
Fox's Peter Ducey says nobody was hurt. It's not believed the driver targeted the president. A new Fox News poll has President Biden losing by 4 points in a potential rematch with former President Trump. Poll also gives the former president 69% in the Republican race, far ahead of his rivals. America's listening to Fox News.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ, C-H-O-Q. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, C-H-O-Q, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time, 8:03. I'm Andrew Dominio. Heavy rain continues. A flash flood warning is in effect until at least 10 a.m. Do be aware if you're on the roadways or if you have a sump pump in your basement, make sure that it's running. Your full forecast is coming up, but we do have that flash flood warning in effect until 10 a.m. and a flood watch for much of central New York in effect until midnight. We did get a call from the chief of the Clinton Fire Department, and if he's still listening, we'd ask him to call in 315-736-0186 to give an update. But he did let us know that the intersection of Route 233 and 12B in Clinton is flooded. The road is still open, but you do have to be careful there as there have been several accidents. We'll continue to provide updates on local flooding as they come in. You can go to our website, WIBX950.com, and read the story about the flood warning, and you can see a link to 2 separate flooding cameras. That water continues to pour underneath that Main Street Bridge in Whitesboro as debris and water continues to now breach the just the bottom of that concrete barrier of that bridge. The man accused of shooting a pregnant woman in the head in Syracuse is expected to be back in court this week. David Kirby was arraigned over the weekend on charges including attempted murder and is set to face a judge on Thursday for a preliminary hearing. A 34-year-old allegedly shot the 26-year-old victim Friday while in the area of Dickinson Street. As of the last update, the woman and her unborn child are not expected to survive. Kirby is being held in the Onondaga County Justice Center where other charges are pending. The New York State Lottery has announced a big win for one Whitesboro player. The top prize winning ticket was sold for the Take 5 evening drawing on December 16th, with one of the tickets being local. A prize worth $18,230 was sold in Whitesboro at the Kinney Drugs location on 40 Oriskany Boulevard. The identity of the big winner is not known. Central New York drivers are seeing falling prices when it comes to fueling up their vehicles. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is $3.44, down 7 cents in the past week, and is 20 cents lower than this time a month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.42 a gallon, while nationally it sits at $3.07. The State Division of Consumer Protection is calling for what it says is a dangerous toy to be removed from store shelves. The agency says the Speed Striker remote control car is often sold at Five Below locations. The car has more than double the allowable surface and paint coating lead level than the guidance established by the Federal Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act. People who have purchased this product are urged to get rid of it immediately. WIBX 950 News Time, 8:06. Your weather forecast is according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint, brought to you by Country Suburban. Flash flood warning in effect until 10 a.m. at least. We do have a flood watch in effect until midnight. There could be damage to several roadways and flooding in several roadways, so do be careful of that. Rain continues today with highs in the upper 40s. Overnight, rain showers turn to snow showers, lows in the low 30s, then snow showers tomorrow, possibly mixing with rain. Highs will be in the mid-30s. Right now, 48 degrees with heavy rain. It is 8:07. The Syracuse University football team has its quarterback for next season thanks to a commitment from a former Ohio State star. Kyle McCord has signed on to help the Orange after throwing for more than 3,100 yards and tossing 24 touchdowns for the Buckeyes this season. His arrival is significant for new head coach Fran Brown, who promised when he took over the job to focus on recruiting. McCord will have one season of eligibility for SU. Meanwhile, the Syracuse basketball team had a great game yesterday in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They defeated Oregon by a score of 83-63. They're now at 8-3 and will host Niagara Thursday night. The Utica Comets played two over the weekend, unfortunately lost both games. Friday and Saturday, both were home games at the Adirondack Bank Center. They lost to Wilkes-Barre 4-1 on Friday, and the Crunch took them down at home 2-0 on Saturday. To the NFL, Sunday Night Football was heard right here on WIBX, and that was the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens defeating the Jaguars 23-7. The Giants stumbling against the Saints. The win streak is over for them as Tommy DeVito was unable to continue his hot streak. They fell to the Saints 24-6. The Jets were shut out 30-0 at Hard Rock Stadium by the Miami Dolphins. Zach Wilson started the game but went out with an injury. He is under concussion protocol at the time. It is said Aaron Rodgers will be medically cleared to play next week, but with them now at 5-9 and bleak playoff picture, that is unsure. It is unsure if Aaron Rodgers will play at all this season. And then one more for you. The Eagles are making a coaching change. ESPN reports that VVS high school graduate Matt Patricia will handle defensive play calling duties ahead of tonight's road game against the Seattle Seahawks.
And former nuclear submarine monitor.
Interesting guy.
Yeah.
Nice beard. Sean Desai will remain the defensive coordinator, but will move to the coach's booth while Patricia transitions the sideline. Philadelphia ranks last in the NFL in opponent third down percentage and 30th in red zone defense. The Eagles have also given up 30-plus points over the past 3 games.
All right, I want to tell you this. There's a story up on our website at WIBX950.com regarding the flash flood warning that is in effect for our area right now. As we said, there is flooding reported over in the Clinton, Westmoreland area along Route 5 before you get to Route 233. That is, the road's not closed, but there is flooding over there. If you go over into Whitesboro, Main Street, the Sequoia River, that Whitesboro Bridge, the water has clearly made its way above the base of the bridge. It is still going underneath. Andrew, is that closed now? It almost looks like the road might be.
Yes, we just got word from Dana Olney, who's following the cameras and has some information about that.
I believe the police have it blocked off.
Yes.
They have, and that is because now what you have is the thrust of that water and the power of that water is now hitting the base of the base
bridge.
of the bridge.
Yeah.
So as you can, the view that we have from TAS Electronics is on the other side, and you can clearly see that the water is has gone above that base, that concrete base. So that is now closed over there on Main Street, the Whitesboro Bridge. Other areas you're seeing that were, remember what occurs is in the higher elevations as the rain continues, this is runoff. This makes its way down into the valleys, and those key areas where you have that are flood prone is where you want to just keep an eye out. But that's not it. There are other areas where you're going to find just normal standing water on the roads, which can cause hydroplaning. There have been several accidents this morning already, so be aware of that. And we will keep you abreast of everything going on. We'll get another update later on in the hour from Sheriff Rob Mashel. But again, this rain is expected to continue pretty heavily over the course of the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
It will begin to taper off after 10. It looks like a significant drop-off by noon, and it should come to an end shortly thereafter. But that flood watch remains in effect until midnight tonight.
Yes, and we do have a comment from Conservative John in Boonville in response to Sheriff Rob Mashiel's call in this morning. Can you please tell the sheriff it's pronounced crick, not creek?
Okay, that's funny. It depends on
where are you from. And
I guess it is.
who you're talking to.
Well, it just looks so. I mean, how else would you pronounce C-R-E-E-K? Right? Of course, that would be pronounced crick.
Crick.
Let me tell you about Collis. I get it. Things have warmed up over the weekend. We had temperatures up into the 50s over the weekend on Friday, and as well today will be up. Despite the rain, up near 50 degrees, it is going to cool off. And are you ready? There are some options out there where you can get a free home energy assessment from Fred F. Collis & Sons. They'll go through your home and show you where you and pinpoint where you have energy loss, comfort issues, and address any safety concerns that you might have. Many will even qualify for free energy efficiency upgrades during the assessment. That includes everything from LED bulbs, weather stripping, programmable thermostats, and maybe it's insulation. Maybe you have an old freezer or refrigerator. Collis will help you and show you where you can save money. And right now, it's the final few weeks, but National Grid is offering customers a $500 per outdoor condenser unit on heat pumps. The offer expires at the end of this month, so take advantage. Reach out to Collis. They have all of these programs. There are incentives, there are grants out there, and funding from both the federal and state governments, and Collis can walk you through it. Call them today at 315-768-2323 or visit them online, fredfcollis.com. They can walk you through the winter season. Fred F. Collis & Sons, heating, cooling, and insulation. Coming up, we'll speak with the head coach from the new national champions in Division III football, Cortland. Coming up next to WIBX.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard.
Ready for a smoother and safer ride? Head to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll get expert advice from their knowledgeable staff. And it doesn't end there. At Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, when you purchase 4 qualified General Tires with your General Tires credit card, you'll get up to a $100 rebate. Visit their stores in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or schedule your appointment online at TallmanTires.com. Get the tires your vehicle deserves at the best prices guaranteed with Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, he's the head coach of Cortland, Coach Kurt Fitzpatrick on the line right now. Coach, good morning and congratulations.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Great.
Thank you very much.
I mean, it's going well here, but
The
really,
water's going, too.
Got a lot of flooding going on here, but the reality is it must have been an amazing ride home. You guys took a bus, right?
We did. Yeah. We spent a lot of time in the bus in the last month. Yeah, it was. We didn't come home right after the game though. We stayed one more night in our team hotel, and then left in the morning. So there were some tired eyes in the bus on Saturday morning when we loaded about 9:30. But it was a very, very enjoyable bus ride home.
Listen, the last time I stayed in a hotel with Cortland students, it was like 1985 Daytona Beach, Days Inn South. The hotel didn't have any sheetrock when we left. It was unbelievable.
I'm sure the hotel workers were a little bit stressed out.
I'm sure. Well,
Friday night.
Listen, you guys deserved it. I mean, you knocked off the 2-time, 3-time national champions, the certainly the favorite, and what a game you played on Friday.
Thank you. Yeah, North Central is a tremendous football team and football program, and I'm sure this won't be their last Stag Bowl either. They're a very talented team, but our guys, our team played extremely hard, smart. It was just a great night. I'm very proud of our players and coaches. Our kids believed, they executed the plan that we had and had belief. You know, our overall plan for the game was to try to drag it into the second half in a tight game, and you know, I felt like we were a little bit more comfortable playing in close games. North Central, They blow everybody out that they play. So I wanted to try to make it a close game and make them, you know, use some time management and stuff that they're not used to doing, and see if we could make one more play than they could make, and try to win it. And that's what happened.
Well, listen, I remember the days. Was it Pasqualoni decided to go for the kick and tie in the bowl game? Listen, you have a chance at a championship. You don't want to tie. I give them credit for going for the 2-point conversion to try to win, but the credit goes to Cortland for stopping that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like they didn't even get close.
Yeah, I'm so proud of our defense. You know, we played great defense in the first half, and they were moving the ball on us, but we played great red zone defense. We made plays when we had to. And in the second half, neither defense was really getting many stops in the second half, and that's what made the game very exciting. And then, but for our defense in that 2-point conversion, just to not blink and play the next play, and a freshman corner, Najee Lubin, true freshman, was the first guy to hit the quarterback on that running play. And then you watch that play on TV, and you know the amount of effort to the ball to stop that play from our defense was outstanding, and they rose to the occasion and made, a stop that will go down in Cortland and Division III football history.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who'd have thought that this would be even bigger moment than the Cortica every year? But I think the celebration was a little bit heavier for Cortland students over the weekend.
Both good celebrations, but I saw some videos on social media from the Dark Horse on Friday night and Saturday, and wow, it was.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
looked like a good time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, it's Justin. I'm a Syracuse University grad student, just shadowing Mr. Keeler today. You guys were 40-point underdogs going into the game. What's the mindset? What's the morale going into a game?
Think about that.
Yeah,
40
points. Yeah. They were 29-0 for the past 2 years.
Honestly, this is the first that I ever heard of that or knew that. I don't think our team was even focused on that.
Yeah.
When we watched the film of their semifinal game against they played Wartburg out in Iowa. I believe we had a chance. I mean, obviously they're a tremendous team, but we weren't going to have a plan to keep it close. We were going to have a game plan to win. So, the point spreads. I don't know. I don't even know who makes the line. Where was that? Where did you see that 40-point line at?
I saw that 40-point line on Twitter, of all places, but. Still 40 points. I mean, the money line on that.
Did it source? I was looking for it, and it wasn't on.
Well, you can't bet in New York, but
site, right.
I'm sure if you went down to New Jersey,
find a way.
If it's in New Jersey, it's there.
Yeah.
We'll look that up and get it to you, Coach.
No, I'm just kind of jokingly, like if we're going to win this game, we couldn't be staring. There was no way we could win if we were just staring at how much of an underdog we were. We had to have the mentality that. If we execute our plan, then we can win. And Division III football there's so many teams. There's way more teams than Division I.
Right.
And you don't get intersectional play at all. So for someone to evaluate North Central's team versus our team, and we have no common opponents, it's difficult to do. And
it's almost impossible to do, right?
Yeah.
How do you? Yeah.
We just I believe we have some tremendous players here at Cortland, and I knew their offense, North Central's offense, is so good. We knew that it was going to be a challenge, but all we got to do is score one more point than they do.
Yeah.
So that was our focus all week.
Yeah, and also going up against what was called the number one Division III quarterback in the country.
That's what it was called, yeah. I don't know if it's called that anymore, but that's
I don't think it is anymore. I don't think it is anymore.
I know one person who was very proud of you was Coach Fagiano here at Utica University. Obviously we're happy to have you during your tenure as offensive coordinator, but obviously on to bigger and better things, and a definite congratulations in order.
Oh, thanks a lot, Coach Fagiano. I wouldn't be here without him. He gave me a chance when I was a young coach, and he got the opportunity to be the head coach at Utica, and gave me the reins of the offense when I probably didn't know what I was doing. And but I've learned so much from him: how to run a program, how to treat people the right way. And so he's been a great mentor to me. In fact, the day of the game, he sent me some photos back in maybe our second year at Utica, 2009, maybe it was 2010. We coached a postseason All-Star game down in Salem, Virginia, at the Salem Stadium. It was Division III All-Stars. We coached the offense of the North team against the South, and the pictures from that day he sent. We won the game 14-0, and he sent those photos just to wish me good luck, and it brought back a flood of memories that I had been in that stadium before and been victorious. So maybe that was some encouragement to that we could get it done again this past Friday.
It was impressive. Loved being able to watch it on TV too. It's not something you normally get to do, Division III, and watch Cortland on TV. But that was really cool. Talk about your quarterback, who had an outstanding game.
Yes, Zach Boyce.
349 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a great kid, and it's such a competitor. He wants the ball in his hands in big moments. He loves to play in big games. He's been a starter. This is his second year as a starter. He's only a junior, so he's got another year left. left to go. But he played. He's such a great leader. He's got a point. They say he's got a point guard mentality. He distributes the ball extremely well, and he's elusive in the pocket. You saw that on Friday night. They couldn't tackle him back there. And when he did have time and open receivers, he's also very accurate and allow our guys to make some plays. So it was special to watch. He makes me look very smart, and I appreciate that. So definitely happy that he's wearing red and white.
And I do have to say, you would be proud as well. The number of watch parties at local establishments around here Friday night. It was impressive to see. You had a lot of support coming throughout the region. We definitely realize that, and I'm in awe. You see things on social media, or I get emails from people, pictures sent to me of watch parties throughout the country, from Los Angeles to New York City to right here in Central New York. It's incredible, the amount of support. It's just it's unreal. It's hard to put into words. What went on, and we're just proud to represent everybody who went to Cortland, or who, like you said, partied once at Cortland or whatever. Just proud to represent everybody who, we know that. I believe we represent New York football in general too, not just those that are Cortland alums. And to bring a national championship to the state of New York, first time since 1991, is a special thing, and we're proud to be able to do it. Speaking with Coach Kurt Fitzpatrick, Cortland is Division III national champions. So impressive. One final question for you, Coach. What do you? And I can't imagine. On one hand, as a layman, as a fan, I'm like, well, we can't even be thinking about next year at this point. But as a head coach, my guess is you have. What does this mean for next year?
Obviously, it's 1 year at a time, but I'm excited about the future of our program. We win a national title. We do have some great players that are seniors, but we have a lot of players coming back from this team that'll be back next season. We've got young players in our program that no one knows their names yet, but who are very talented and will be very good. So yeah, I have thought about next year. Some of the logistics, head coaches, I think about, equipment turn-in and getting our helmets reconditioned, and our recruiting schedule, which got all thrown off because we were traveling on the road for an extra month. But it's all good problems to have, believe me. But I'm excited about next year. I'm excited about the future of our program. We'll have a few more days of work here to get things squared away, and then enjoy some relaxation time over the holidays, and then get it cranked up in January.
You made number one first. There's nothing that helps a recruiting program any more than a national championship. Certainly. But the other thing is, when you mentioned this is big for New York football. It is important to note we don't have 12 months of the year where it's easy to play football outside. It's a completely different animal up here. This is a major accomplishment for upstate New York football.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think football in New York, Division III football in New York and the surrounding states in the Northeast is getting better. We lost a game this year to Susquehanna University down in Pennsylvania. Other schools in the Empire 8 in the Liberty League, could very easily do the same thing. So, I think if nothing else, it gives programs in the Northeast, a blueprint, some hope that, if the things come together the right way, that anyone can win a national title. I think the game is, and our high school coaches are doing a great job developing players. I think football is getting better in New York and in the Northeast, now I hope we can even take it to the next level.
Coach Fitzpatrick, thank you so much, and congratulations to you and the team. Nice job.
Well, thank you very much, and I really appreciate you guys having me on this morning.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Did you find that 40-point
I
spread?
did not find that
I
spread,
gotta tell you,
but there was a 1.1% chance that Cortland would win the Stag Bowl after the round of 16. So,
yeah, nobody thought they could win. However, if I could have found that 40-point line, I would have found a way to bet. We'd have traveled to Pennsylvania to bet on that, or wherever you would have to go, I guess. Either way, wow, what a! If you had a chance to watch the game on Friday night, it was awesome. Let's see. I'm sorry, Stefan. I did not see you had a question. What was your question?
Well, Utica University football plays SUNY Cortland, and I'm wondering, how does Utica University get a shot in future years at a national championship like SUNY Cortland did this year?
Well, it's an amazing accomplishment. There's no doubt. Sorry I didn't get you in for that question there, Stefan, but you had quite a sports weekend. I'm amazed that you stayed home. There was so much going on all over the place.
Yeah, actually, I was at the Comets game Friday night, which wasn't very good. But this Friday, I'm going to be at the Utica City FC soccer game for the first time down at the Adirondack Bank Center.
All right, that'll be pretty cool. All right, Stefan, you have a great day, man. Thank you.
Okay, bye, Bill.
All right, see you later. We'll give you an update on the flooding. Whitesboro, that bridge is now closed on Main Street. The Whitesboro Bridge, Sequoia Creek, has crested. It is now above the base of the bridge, and you just look at the pure power of that water right now. You're wondering what we're looking at. There's a live cam over there. In fact, there's a link to it from our website. If you go to WIBX950.com, you can check it out. Any other updates we'll give you on the other side of the break. But be careful out there. The rain has been coming down. Flash flood warning is in effect for the area. It's 8:31 at WIBX.
Looking for the perfect gift for the theater and music lover on your list? Give the gift of world-class opera and musical theater with a Glimmerglass Festival gift card. The 2024 Glimmerglass Festival includes productions of The Pirates of Penzance, Pagliacci, La Callisto, and Elizabeth Cree. And with a Glimmerglass Festival gift card, they can pick the shows of their choice. Gift cards available online at glimmerglass.org or by calling the box office. Tickets for individual shows on sale January 22nd. Give music and magic with a Glimmerglass gift card. Happy holidays from the Glimmerglass Festival.
This holiday season, make your spirits bright with Steed Ponte Chevrolet. Cruise through snow-covered roads in style and comfort with these incredible deals. Find new roads in the 2024 Equinox LS all-wheel drive Midnight Edition. Lease for just $379 a month. Looking for power and capability? The 2024 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab LT four-wheel drive can be yours for only $499 a month. Hurry, these offers won't last. Stock numbers 24117 for the Equinox LS and 24182 for the Silverado LT. Taxes, fees, and first payment due on delivery. Must have current lease and household and qualify for top-tier credit with GM Financial. Let Steed Ponte Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership, help you celebrate the season. Visit us before December 31st, 2023. Make this holiday one to remember and see why it's always easy to do business at Steed Ponte Chevrolet. Route 28 in Herkimer or online at SteedPonteChevy.com. Happy holidays and happy driving from your friends at Steed Ponte Chevrolet.
As a leader in green building projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and is now a clean heat approved contractor for residential electric heat pumps. Save up to 40% off your natural gas or oil heating system monthly bill by upgrading to an electric heat pump. Now's a great time to replace that old furnace and boiler with New York State incentives and tax advantages. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey electric heat pump with various packages and options available. Potentia can also help design, supply, and install residential and commercial electric vehicle charging systems at your home or business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, they guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or potentiamanagement.com. That's potentiamanagement.com.
Hey, River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in central New York. 15 years ago, Bill and Robin Monjo started a company that they wanted to be different, offering unique services that other real estate agents and agencies do not offer. That includes allowing for the real estate listing agent to be at every property showing. Not allowing, but actually mandating. Every agent does the same thing with River Hills. And it could be a mobile home worth $50,000. It could be a $500,000 property, $1 million property. It doesn't matter. Your listing agent will be there to answer questions of the potential buyer and to make sure the property is ready to be shown, putting the best foot forward, making sure the lights are on, and if a potential buyer has a question, your listing agent is there to answer. It just makes the process work better, and it speeds it all up. And doesn't everyone selling a home want things to move quickly and flawlessly? And that is the peace of mind that River Hills is able to give its customers. With offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, online it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Celebrate my baby back to me. I don't need a lot of presents to make my Christmas bright. I just need my baby's arms wound around me tight. Oh, Santa, hear my plea. Santa, bring my baby back to me. Santa, bring my baby back to me. The Christmas tree is ready, the candles all aglow. But with my baby far away, the good is a mistletoe. Oh, Santa, hear my plea. Santa, bring my baby back to me. Santa, bring my baby.
You'll hear a lot of Elvis this week, I'm afraid. Andrew's all over it. Looking at...
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid of the king. If you have... if you're going to be out there driving today, the roads can be very difficult. And you could be looking at some flooded roads as well. 12B, they're saying over in that...
By 233.
By 233, I should say. Over in that area, there is the potential for... there is some flooding. The road's still open as of right now. We're also told that in New Hartford, along Genesee Street, there where the Sequoia Creek comes down through. Is that Sequoia?
Yeah, it's over by...
over just by Daylight Donuts, alongside...
The intersection of...
Route 840, alongside that
Yeah,
highway,
where Utica
12.
turns to New Hartford. Yep. That bridge has a little bit of a higher clearance. The creek bed there a little bit higher, but
that's
somebody said probably about 3 feet
about 3 feet from the bottom of the bridge. When you normally look there, you're talking probably around what? 12, 13, 15 feet.
Yeah, easily.
Where the water normally is at the bottom, and then see that rise to the point that it has is just unbelievable. Now, over at that creek in Whitesboro, the Sequoia Creek that comes through, that bridge is now closed. It has reached a point where it's not coming over the bridge, but it has reached the base. So it's over top of the concrete base of the bridge, and you can see that as the water is coming through the other side, it is restricted, and that is a powerful creek right now, and that bridge is currently closed. There are other areas where you may very well see you're dealing with water, with standing water on the roads, with flooded sections. Just be careful. Be careful as you're making your way through this morning, as there is a great deal of flooding out there today.
That is correct, and that flash flood warning came over our phones probably just before 7 a.m. For this area, due to the possibility of flash floods happening in those areas. So do be aware of that.
And we have a couple of Ray, thank you. Couple of road closures. Route 5 in the town of Kirkland has all lanes blocked in both directions between Limberlost and Route 233 due to flooding. That's new. The road was open, but there was flooding. That has changed now. Route 5 in the town of Kirkland has all lanes blocked in both directions between Limberlost and Route 233 due to flooding. That Main Street Whitesboro Bridge which goes over the Sequoia River. That is also closed. Those are the closures as we have them right now, and we'll keep you up to date as the morning goes on. Full newscast coming up, top of the hour.
That's correct.
Okay. There is, especially as we're going into this right now with the holiday travel, certainly hoping not to have a repeat of what we dealt with last year.
Yeah.
And that was just a debacle during Christmas time. But there is a pilot shortage out there. And it is now created.
This is awesome.
6-figure bonus offers.
Where do I sign up?
For new pilots or pilots to maybe come from somewhere else to land with these flight companies. Patrick Arnzen is on the line right now with an update. Patrick, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're a former airline pilot and an aviation expert. What are we seeing here? Is this the same type of post-COVID employee shortage that we see everywhere else in the country and around the world?
Well, COVID certainly didn't help the situation. This problem's been brewing for the last 15 or 20 years, and really we're kind of reaping the results of low airline pilot training from what really started back in the late 90s.
And how long does it take to become a pilot?
It really just depends on how you go about it. If you come to a company like ours, and there's lots of them all around the country, it's about an 8 to a 12-month process to become a fully certificated commercial pilot. In order to become an airline pilot, you have to have accumulated 1,500 hours. That's typically done through flight instructing, teaching other people. So to accumulate that sort of time, it takes about a year. So really, it's a 20 to 24-month process to get all the way through and to make it into the cockpit at an airline.
I would think that this type of these bonuses and these incentives to bring people into the industry, stuff like this has got to be helping. I would assume.
It really is. When I went to fly for the airlines back in the early 2000s, my starting pay was around $17,000 a year.
Wow.
Which is just crazy to think. Now we're paying these guys and gals upwards of $150,000 their very first year to start as an airline pilot.
Wow.
And we're seeing these massive bonuses given to both new pilots and experienced captains to go to other airlines. We have such a small population of pilots, and all the different airlines are fighting over them. So it's really been it's been great to be a pilot here recently.
I'm assuming you're seeing a lot more women as pilots.
We are. It's really neat to see how many females are breaking into this. It's still a fairly small subset. We polled our student base, and we're about 25% females at thrust flight, which is about double the national average. So it's pretty neat to see.
Yeah.
These barriers being knocked down, and anybody can do this, and I think that's pretty exciting.
Patrick, now your company is Thrust Flight, which is a multi-location flight training organization. Is it something that you can do? I remember back when my uncle was training to be a pilot. This was years ago. He was doing some online or computer-based flight simulation as part of his training. How much of it can be done online? And obviously there's definitely a need for an in-person component. But what's the balance there?
I would say it's about 90% in person, especially if you're going to go through a program like ours that's really very immersive. When you sign up to go to an accelerated program like our Zero to Airline program, it's a full-time job. There's a lot of computer-based training that goes into it. But what we find is when people are on property and training with us, they get through it a whole lot faster.
What is Patrick? What's the best plane you ever flew?
Oh, gosh. Well, I really like aerobatics. So I personally fly an aircraft called a Game Bird, which is a competition type Red Bull air race type airplane. It just does all sorts of neat, fun things.
He likes that G-force.
So they don't. That plane. That plane doesn't have cocktail service. Apparently.
No cocktail service.
Thank God.
You want to make sure you're very sober while flying that one.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know what else is cool?
Yeah.
Is that Patrick has that airline pilot voice. You know, the one that comes on and tells you what the speed is, how much time is. You know, we have a nice smooth flight and all that.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Well,
they teach us that in flight school.
Just be thankful. just be thankful he didn't ask you to do it.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I thought it's too early.
Listen, I got to tell you, I was on one of the little planes coming up from JFK to Providence, and it was one of those where 2-seaters on each side. I mean, it probably had, I don't know, maybe 12 people or something. It would fit. And we were in the middle of a windstorm coming up the coast. And I got to tell you, had I not been sitting next to a pilot who was just sitting there like everything was A-OK, I think I would have, I don't know what I would have done because I thought we were going to die. But I was sitting next to a pilot who was a passenger, and he wasn't nervous at all. But I'm telling you, the wind would blow, and it would just seem like the plane was now way over there all of a sudden.
There's something on the wing.
Yeah. So, but it's really quite an experience today on airplanes today. It is definitely something. Okay. So the opportunity, tell your kids if they're coming up in high school, this might be a real option. Patrick Arnzen, thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Thrust Flight is the company.
Thrust Flight. Yep. Good stuff.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Patrick. Thank you. Have a great day. What did Paul Buckley say? I know there's probably a joke about women are attracted to becoming pilots because they get to sit in the cockpit. Okay.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm not sure where you're going with that, Paul.
Jeez.
Lordy, I got to be careful what I read when he sends me stuff. The fact is, they say that studies have been done, and which gender makes for a better fighter pilot? And the answer is women.
Yeah.
I believe the survey was done by Women's Day magazine. But no, there have been studies, and women under pressure seem to be able to handle
more calm.
I guess.
Okay.
I haven't witnessed, that's anecdotal, but I've not witnessed that. I feel like I'm the calm one in my family. Is my wife at work? Yeah, I can say that. She's already at work. She can't hear us.
Yeah.
All right, got a break. We'll wrap it up here for Monday morning. I got to tell you, I have been completely distracted by, and I will be for the rest of the day, watching this Sequoia Creek and the bridge over there. That TAS camera is, and it's a live stream picture. You can take a look at it. The link is available on our website at WIBX950.com.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs in cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it's 8:49, and we're still, I want to go over a couple of these again. The Main Street, the Whitesboro Bridge is closed right now if you're over that area. Let's see. Rick said the Whitesboro Fire Department was just dispatched. Might be the creek situation. I don't see them there, so it may have been something else. I will tell you, there are reports, and Andrew has had them as well this morning. There are reports of accidents out there. To give you an idea, you're flying along, everything's going good, and all of a sudden you hit a huge puddle of water where the road is partially flooded. And all of a sudden, you have no control of that vehicle.
Yeah, I remember.
Actually, what I'm describing is what I went through this morning. In an area where I thought I didn't have to worry about hydroplaning, the road was partially flooded, and I hit that. And you just basically hold on for you don't know where you're going.
Dear life.
Yeah,
I remember back in, I think it was July 4th, the July 4th storm back in 2015 or 2016. I had gone down Oxford Road into Washington Mills area, and the water was up to below the window of my vehicle, and I didn't know where to go. Over by Tex-Mex and Washington Mills, and I just got to a point where I didn't know where to go. I thought that would have been the
Not
safest
the
route.
way you were going.
No, yeah, I should have gone the opposite way down Oxford.
How did you get out of that? It was up to your door?
It was up to the door, yeah, and I just kind of hit the gas and went, and I went up to where my destination was. I opened my hood of my car, and I could see all the mud and everything on the engine.
The worry that you have is that the vehicle stalls.
Yeah.
And now you're stalled in moving water. That can be a real problem.
Down power lines and floods can be dangerous as well, so you really have to be careful.
Also, Route 5 in the town of Kirkland has all lanes blocked in both directions. This is one of your typical places where there is flooding. Also, that area near Big Apple Music
yes,
gets hit badly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think... I do believe that maybe they've corrected that problem over there. Anyway, Route 5 in the town of Kirkland has all lanes blocked in both directions between Limberlost Road and Route 233 due to the flooding. We spoke with Sheriff Mashel a little earlier this morning. And let's see, what do I have? All right, this is Captain Larkin with the Clinton Fire Department. Captain, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. What do we see? I just had gotten the word that that it is closed over there near Limberlost, Route 5.
Yep, that's the word we're receiving as well.
All right. Are we? What is your estimate? I realize that this water comes from higher ground and it makes its way down into the valley. With the rain still coming down, what's the potential of this flooding? What are you seeing? What are you worried about?
Well, we're keeping an eye on all the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Typically within the village and the town of Kirkland, we see some flooding down on Sanford. Sometimes that extends through, as we know, it's Route 5, those areas right now. So just keeping an eye on them right now. Truthfully, it's been pretty quiet in terms of homeowners calling for flooded basements in our area. Listening to the county radio, though, it does sound like other areas of Oneida County are flooding pretty well.
I'm assuming it is a good idea to have the make sure you double check to make sure your sump pump is working.
Definitely, yeah. Keep an eye on your basement. Ensure that the water isn't approaching any utilities or electrical panels. That could be a hazard for obvious reasons.
And is it odd to you that we're dealing with a storm like this, flooding like this, deep into December?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's unseasonable for sure.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
We'll deal with whatever they throw at us.
Captain, really quickly too. I know one area in Clinton that's prone to flooding sometimes is that area of Meadow Street. How are things there over by the Hannaford Clinton tractor, that area?
It does appear that the water is approaching the loading dock at Hannaford's. I know the folks down there have some floodgate mitigation measures that they can put in place. They haven't called for our assistance yet, but again, we're on standby. We've got pumps loaded up in the trucks, hose ready, and manpower ready. So
Okay.
we'll respond to wherever we're needed.
All right. Well,
Thanks
listen,
for what you're doing.
Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your service, Captain. We appreciate it.
Guys, have a great day.
All right, you do the same. Captain Larkin with the Clinton Fire Department. These guys, listen, this stuff hits, and they are
volunteer
they're on the
departments.
Scene. Yep.
Remember
Play
that.
an enormous role. A couple things to hit here before we get out of here this morning. Right now, Steve Ponte Mazda's Season of Inspiration sales event is underway. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 60 months on all new 2024 Mazda CX-5s. It's Mazda's way of saying thank you for an incredibly successful year. And they've increased their inventory to take advantage of all of what is happening. And what's causing what is happening? Mazda's 0% special offer. See Steve Ponte Mazda for details. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a Mazda. Wyatt was in here the other day. Rick was here the other day playing on the keyboard. What an amazing keyboardist he is. I mean, the stuff it sounds like you're listening to the original when he goes at it. It's incredible. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, where it is always easy to do business, Steve Ponte Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
I have a couple comments quick if you want before the next one.
Yep.
Dick in Deerfield, isn't it interesting how our culture, especially online, creates popular lists that tend towards the negative, like the many lists of the most hated Christmas and holiday songs? Why do so many people enjoy talking about things they hate?
Okay.
And then Brian in Utica, sorry we didn't mention it sooner, but a message to Davey from Brian at Lazur Photography. It was nice meeting him and his mother and his family. Thank you for taking a picture with Santa. I'll have the pictures ready tonight or tomorrow for the whole day's events.
Did you sit on Santa's lap, Davey?
Yes, I did.
Okay, nice.
Thank you very, and it was very nice to meet Brian. My brother-in-law, my sister had a great turnout for their thing they did over the weekend.
Really cool. Anything else?
Will Manaski have a surprise visit on Friday at the Christmas show?
I believe so. You've spoken to him. I had spoken to him as well. Let's just confirm that, but I believe, yes, he will be here. Sheriff Mayfield, yesterday, this was our pasture. Wow, totally flooded in the back. Luckily, in anticipation of the rain, they moved the livestock to higher ground. That's really big. And let's see, Mike says women should be better. Fighter pilots, they're ready to fight all the time, based on his experience. And I'm with you. Daylight Donuts is the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford serves Seattle's best. It's owned by Starbucks, but the big difference is that drive-through is lightning fast. You're in and out, and you're on your way. Quick and easy drive-through. Fresh donuts made there daily. The best lattes, hot or iced. And for the holidays, chocolate peppermint candy cane, gingerbread cookie, and the s'more latte. So good. Gift cards, buy 20, get $5 free. And the snowflake rolls. If you haven't signed up as of yet, they are so good for your holiday dinner. Snowflake rolls at Daylight Donuts. We had a college student in here this morning who was shadowing. So did we finally convince you? Radio is horrible. What are you thinking?
No, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit back, shadow from some industry professionals. I'm just worried about the drive home that I have to make back to Syracuse, but it's been fun. Radio is still what I want to do.
All right.
So you did good.
We did everything we could to talk you out of it. We did. All right.
Don't worry about it.
Safe travels. Thank you. Gotta go. Back here tomorrow on WIBX.
The church gives us a peace the world cannot give. Letting go of bitterness and resentment can help us find inner peace. The sacrament of reconciliation and the grace the sacrament provides may help us to forgive ourselves, forgive others, and enjoy a peace we may not have known for years. What a gift! On December 18th, Catholic churches throughout the diocese will be open for the sacrament of reconciliation. The light is on for you. Come home for Christmas and celebrate the joy of the Eucharist.
I'm Joni Grandy, and I invite you to remember a loved one during Hospice's Light Up a Life Holiday Memorial. With a gift of $10, your loved one's name will be displayed on a holiday tree. With a donation of $100, receive a cardinal ornament to symbolize your support of Hospice's mission.
Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, 315-735-6484, or visit us at hospicecareinc.org. Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Hey, if you're traveling for the holidays, our friends at Pure Talk, they have you covered because they have just added international roaming to over 30 countries. Now, that's right. Whether you're making calls from the Vatican, on the beaches of the Bahamas, they've got you covered. From the steps of Buckingham Palace to your villa in beautiful Italy, you can dial away. And here's the best part. There's no rate increase at all. Now, Pure Talk still saves the average family close to $1,000 a year, and they use the same cell towers, same 5G network as the big carriers, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Stop dragging your feet. Make the switch. It's simple. It's fast. It's easy. Join a veteran-owned wireless company that is saving people tons of money for the exact same service and now offering international roaming to over 30 countries. Now, from your cell phone, just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, make the switch, and do it now. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Pound 250, keyword save now, and start saving on your wireless right now.
All right, a flash flood warning is in effect. Details coming up. WIBX Utica Rome, it's 9 o'clock.
He wasn't in danger. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but there was drama for President Biden last night in Delaware right after he was asked,
Mr. President, why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
Now, he shouted back, they're the wrong polls. And then you can hear it. The sound of a crash. A car hit a Secret Service SUV, but police don't believe that driver targeted the president, who then got into his vehicle and was driven away with nobody injured. But back to those polls, the latest Fox News voter survey has him trailing former President Trump by 4 points. And while the president said the polls are wrong,
he's saying something else in private, according to the Washington Post. The day of the turkey pardoning, according to this story, before he left town for Thanksgiving, the president told his top advisors he thinks his poll numbers are, quote, unacceptably low. He wants to know what they are doing about his low polls. But in the weeks since this apparently happened, we have not noticed any kind of a major course correction or a change in his strategy.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. That same Fox poll gives former President Trump 69% in the Republican race, way ahead of his rivals. Last night at a rally in Reno, Nevada, the former president said,
when I'm reelected, we will begin, and we have no choice, the largest deportation operation in American history.
Because of a record surge of illegal immigration, this the day after facing criticism for saying those migrants are poisoning our blood. Now, we expect to hear soon from defense